You will be surprised to see, read so much of line to understand the question, but don't bother. And when you relax, when you are keeping a calm mind, you can definitely understand the question very well. You can select the best answer. And first thing I would like to tell you, you have been given 7 subjects. You have been asked to select only 4 subjects. So you always better prepare thoroughly 4 subjects and 1 subject standby. Because sometimes you may be thinking all these 4 subjects you are mastered and everything is easy. You can easily get through. But sometimes based on the questions, based on the examiner, sometimes the subjects might be tough. In that case, you can have a standby. So always be thorough with 4 plus 1 subjects. Don't try to read all the 7 subjects. See, everyone has got some interest on different subjects. Some may be interested in miscellaneous, some may be very much interested in motor, some may be interested in marine. So you need not read everything thoroughly. It will be very difficult to master the entire insurance because insurance is a dynamic subject and you have to update the knowledge. You cannot simply keep only with the books. So naturally you have to be an expert in 4 subjects and please keep 1 subject as standby. And you are a different group. See, for faculties like us, it is not that easy to share or teach you because you are not a homogeneous group. Homogeneous group means, suppose if your direct recruits are coming, it's very easy for us to teach the direct recruits because they are new to the industry and everything is new from our mouth. So there will not be any difficult for us to teach the basics of fire, engineering, miscellaneous, motor, whatever it may be the line of business. But for you, today I am going to be there like other faculties, but in front of you, you are all heterogeneous group. Heterogeneous means there may be youngsters, there may be seniors, there may be different kind of cadres from scale 1 to scale 4 and opting for scale 5. There are many cadres are here. So naturally, some things what we are trying to teach you or something what we are trying to make you to recall, that subject you already know, something what we want to be very clear with you what you know, all these things what we are going to share with you today, it is not generally applied to everyone. If you know the subject, be sure that what you are getting from us is correct. If you have got any doubt, you can feel free to ask us at the end of the session. So it is very difficult for us to teach you exactly what you require because the juniors may be expecting a simple questions and answers. The seniors may be facing a complex question and they have to use their mind. So what is the difference between the question paper made for junior and seniors? For a junior, see for example, if I show you a tomato and ask you a junior, what is it? You will tell it is a fruit. Yeah, tomato is a fruit, even though it's a vegetable, it's a fruit. But if I show the same tomato to a senior, if senior is telling it is a tomato, it is a fruit, that is not enough for the organization. Because seniors are expected to apply their mind of knowledge. So seniors, apart from telling it is a fruit, they have to tell it is, though it is a fruit, though it is a vegetable, it will never go well with a fruit salad. Because you cannot prepare a tomato with, for making a fruit salad. Like a fruit salad is totally different recipe. So that is how a knowledge, a junior is expected to know the knowledge. The application of knowledge is not much more important for a junior in the examination point of view. But a senior, you are not only expected to have the knowledge, but you are most expected how best you are going to apply the knowledge at times of need and requirement in the organization. That's what the difference between the junior and senior in exam. So juniors, you are expected to acquire the knowledge. Seniors, you are expected to apply the knowledge. That is how we have to prepare this session for you. So it would be a common session. Sometimes some small questions may be simple to seniors. Sometimes some complex discussions what we are going to give you today may be little complex for the juniors. Don't bother. We are going to differentiate the question. But as a junior, if you are interested to know more about that, it is well and good. But as a senior, you are expected to know more about that. That is why we have designed this session for you today under miscellaneous line of business to take care of the needs of both the junior as well as senior. As you already know, the question may be a simple, the question may be a moderate, the question may be a complex. Complex in the sense, it may even occupy half of the page of the question paper. So you have to read. But one thing we would like to tell you, when you go through the exam, first have a first scan. You do the first step of scan. I hope most of you would have gone through my pro tips for the exam. If you have not gone through the pro tips, that is already there in the WhatsApp group. Please go through the pro tip. The pro tip is not only for miscellaneous line of business, it is for almost all line of business like fire, engineering and miscellaneous. Everything is there. And most of the questions what I have illustrated there, it is all appearing again in the exam. So I can assure you, if you go through one or two times that pro tips, what is already circulated in the WhatsApp group, I'm sure you will definitely confident about getting the pass mark. And more than that, you have to excel. That depends upon how best you are going to interpret, how best you are going to gather knowledge from faculties like us through these sessions. So what I would like to tell you, at the time of the exam, please make a scan. The first 4 subjects what you are interested. In the scan, whatever questions is you understand very well and whatever way that you feel confident to select the answer, you first to do that. Don't waste your time in the complex question, or don't waste your time in the questions which you are not able to understand because the question is not properly designed. So you may be poking your head, what is this question is asking for, what is the question is for. Don't waste your time, just skip at the time and go to complete all other easy questions first. Once you are feeling and once you are confident, yes, I've almost answered about 40 to 50 marks questions. So I'm sure I will get minimum 50 marks. And more than that, I have to aim. And that you can go to the next step. Wherever you are not attended, wherever more questions are required, if you are confident, please select the question. If you are not confident, don't get into the negative mark system. Otherwise, it will pull you down and whatever you earn will be lost because you are trying to get into a subject which you are not comfortable. So don't do that mistake. So first to make yourself confident, yes, I will pass the exam first. So what is required for pass mark for the exam? That you first achieve by attending the very simple and easy and comfortable question. After that, take more time. Don't waste your time on complex question. Trying to understand it. Don't waste your time. Once you are confident, psychologically, yes, I have done best all answers very well. Definitely I will be getting pass mark. That confidence will boost your very calm mind. Anyway, you are not going to fail. So first you should aim for pass. Second, you should aim for excel. Then you have to excel. So first, if you are confident about getting pass, then you will be very confident. You can be very calm mind. Then you can understand even the complex question very well. Then you can proceed. And if you are not sure, please don't attend a question which just for the sake of attending, so that it will pull you down in the wrong side. Okay. So as already we discussed, probably so many people, so many other faculties would have also told you the questions, how it will be framed. Most of the time the question will be framed to bend your mind. See, the question for the juniors will be very straight. So you need not bend your mind because you are very precious and you are trying to learn along with the growing organization. So the question may be very simple, straight for the juniors. But for the seniors, the question will be try to bend your mind and to know how best you are going to analyze your knowledge, how best you are going to apply the knowledge. That's more important. So the question may be, see for example, out of the 4 questions, there may be 3 questions right, 1 question may be wrong. In that they will ask you, select the incorrect question. Or there may be 3 questions wrong, 1 question may be right, they may be asking the correct statement. So that can be modified in any way so that to make you, to confuse you at the time when you go through the question, what the question is really asking. For example, it is not an inclusion. The question is asking to pick up you, which is not an inclusion. That means you will understand it is an exclusion. So that means out of the 4, 3 are definitely coming under the inclusion. 1 is only exclusion. So you have to find out which is the exclusion. It can be ulta also. It can be asked which directly. It can be which is excluded under this particular line of business. They may be asking straight question like for juniors. So please understand. Whenever you read for exam, you have to know whenever you come across objective type of 4 question, just don't jump into the next question. For example, you are going to have a model question and you are preparing for exam. in the model question, there are about 50 questions are there under marine or miscellaneous or under fire engineering. The question you understood, you picked up the right answer, but don't skip the other 3 and jump into the next question. That is a mistake everyone is doing, because you are happy. I know this answer. That is the answer. Simply you skip and go to the next question. Don't do that, my dear friends. You just stay there and find out the other 3 where it is applying, where it belongs, so that you can refresh your knowledge in 360 dimension, so that if the question is modified, even the other one you just skip to jump into the next question, you will be able to understand, because what all you are learning from people like us, what all you are trying to exercise, what all you are trying to get exposed to the different model question, that doesn't mean the same question will come in the exam. But subject is same. Please understand, the subject is same. So the way of asking might be different. So if you are only thinking that, oh, this question is easy, don't think the same question will come. Because I have seen people, the candidates, they say, sir, this question exactly came, I'm happy. Sometimes they say, sir, this question never came. It won't come, because the subject is same. It depends upon the examiner, the question may be modified. So for understanding the modifications, it is my request to every one of you, please, whenever you read an objective type of questions, when you are confident, when you are happy about selecting the first answer, don't skip the other 3. It may not be relevant to the question, but stay there, understand where it belongs, where it comes. Suppose tomorrow if they make the question different, whether you will be able to pick up the other way. So all these things you have to gain confidence. Then only you will be able to be excel in the exam, and you can get maximum score you can get in the exam, and you can win the rat race, because there will be a lot of competition. There will be more and more people will be getting more and more marks, but you have to stand above all. In that case, you have to excel. When you want to excel, this is a way you have to read. So first you be in the comfortable zone in the examination. Make yourself, yes, I will pass. After that, how I'm going to excel. Then go to the next. So that is a way that you have to manage the time during the exam, because for most of us, time may not be enough to appear all the questions, especially for the seniors, because the questions will be very big, and you will not able to find much time to go through the other part of the question. So that is why you have to prepare yourself. So in this session, we are going to start the subject today, wherein I am requesting you, you are all at home today, and you are in front of your cell phone or your laptop, whatever it may be. But this one day, this morning session as well as afternoon session, I am going to be with you to share my knowledge, my experience, and my updated knowledge. And some of you may be thinking, oh, what these retired faculties are going to share, what these senior people, very old people are going to share. No, don't think like that. Before coming to you, before trying to teach you, we are trying to update what is latest today. We know what is today, even though we have come out of the organization due to superannuation or retirement, that doesn't mean we are out of the subject. Please have confidence on us. Whatever we are going to share with you today, we have updated even till this time before coming to you. And whatever we are going to share with you, it is going to be very helpful to you for the examination point of view. Because exam is not only based on the subject book, what we say associate book. And whenever you are reading associate books, please see that you purchase the latest edition. Don't keep the old edition, which has been repeatedly reprinted. But please try to buy the edition that made 2024 and thereafter. Don't read the editions which are before 2024, because there are a lot of new things have been incorporated in the associate books. If you are not going to read the new book, you may be missing some of the point. The examiner who is preparing the question might be definitely will be picking up the questions from the latest books, and that may not be you may not be comfortable to know the questions, because that what is in the question paper may not be there in the book what you have read. So it's my request, please read the associate book, the latest book. Not only that, there are many other things you have to do, like you have to know what is the latest changes. For example, in miscellaneous you take, there are a lot of changes occurred, even though it is not that complex like your fire and engineering. And because there is no continuous circular, there is no continuous changes. But here, most of the things are static only. There is no much changes except certain things where the government is involved, like government schemes, like some acts, like Public Liability Act, like workman compensation, what we call employees compensation. Some changes has occurred, and what is the limits for your certain cases, like for example, you say ombudsman, the cases, what is the limits have changed in the case of consumer forum. All these things have changed now, and everything you have to get updated for the exam, because the examiner, one who is preparing the exam, will try to know how best you are updating your knowledge to the latest scenario of the industry. That's more important. Okay? And what I would like to tell you, be calm. Don't read continuously. It will make your mind very fatigue. So take some time to relax. When you relax, and don't take the book again and go through the book print and other thing. Just close your eyes before at home when you are preparing for exam. Just relax and don't open the book, but you have to recall by closing your eyes in your mind. What is recalling? See, sometimes what happened in the exam, you would have read in the book, but at the time of exam, knowingly or unknowingly, you will be under psychological stress. You will be very much worried whether the question will be easy, whether the question will be tough, whether I will be able to attend all the questions. Don't feel anything. Once you are confident about the subject, any question you can easily understand. But how to get confident? That's more important. Not simply mug upping a book. It is not going to give you a confidence as far as insurance examination is concerned. Then how best you are going to do your reading part? That's more important. For example, you are relaxing. When you are relaxing, just keep in your mind excess. I am just telling one example for you. Just excess. When you think of excess, what is this excess? Oh, you are recalling, closing your eyes. You want to relax. You are not going to go through the book, but you have read the book 1 or 2 times or 3 times. But somewhere you read, most of the places you read about excess word. You would have read excess in different line of business. For example, you would have read in Botan. But come to the miscellaneous part, which I am going to share with you today. So excess comes in different part of line of business. But whether excess is applied alone, what is the concept of excess? This is what you have to close your eyes and relax. What all you have read twice or thrice, and you have to analyze. See, for example, excess is a part or the portion that has to be borne by the claimant at the time of claim. Just a simple definition. He has to borne at the time of claim. It can be in a percentage, it can be in a monetary terms. It can be in amount, or it can be a percentage of the sum insured or a percentage of the claims. Okay, it's applied. It depends upon the subject. For example, excess, whether it is applied alone in miscellaneous policy, it is applied alone in certain subjects. It is not applied alone. First, before excess, there is one more condition is called franchise. So, first franchise is applied, and if franchise is not, suppose it is not, if it comes under franchise, he is not eligible for a claim. You know very well. Suppose if it is exceeding the franchise, he is automatically eligible for the claim. So when he has become eligible for the claim, automatically the excess comes there. So even if he has crossed the franchise part, but he is not allowed to enjoy the entire claim amount in some subjects. For example, that particular amount of franchise, though it's not applied, but it has exceeded, so he will come to the excess part, wherein it depends upon the excess, whether it's 20% or it is 1%, 5%, whatever it is applied, it is there. See, for example, excess, sometimes it is also interpreted in a different way. For example, each and every claim, this is the portion he has to bear. For example, you take PTD claim in animal. In a PTD claim animal, only the claim will be settled 75% in case of cattle and camel. So what happens to the 25%? The 25%, even though it is left for the salvage, because the animal is given to him. We are not going to take back the animal like what the salvages we are getting from motor. So in that case, that 25% he has to bear. So naturally only 75% will be set. So even though it is not called excess there, that portion has to be borne by the customer. You have to think, In cattle it is 25%. Is there any other thing excess is more? Yeah, the highest excess applied in miscellaneous policy under salt work insurance. See, yeah, any claim, each and every claim, 30% of excess of the claim amount will not be paid. So that should be borne by the customer. So that is the highest excess. Is there any other highest excess there in any other miscellaneous? Yes. In case of a rabbit claim, the claim will be settled 70%, but 30% of the amount definitely borne by the customer. So in that climate, that means even though it is not called excess, that portion has to be borne. That's more important. For example, elephant insurance, you take, when a claim comes, only 80% will be settled, 20% will not be settled, so that should be borne. So excess may be in a different form, but its simple definition, that portion has to be borne by the customer in case of claim. So you are just relaxing, you are rotating your knowledge. Okay, you said, sir, in some cases, excess is directly applied, there is no franchise. In some cases, franchise is applied. Suppose franchise is not coming in the claim amount because already he has exceeded the franchise. Franchise means what? Up to the amount, claim will be not settled. For example, to make you to understand very simple, because juniors might be here in the class. See, for example, there is an 100 rupees claim. Just to make you to understand, hypothetically I am taking 100 rupees claim. If there is a franchise of 10 rupees, so if the claim amount is 7 rupees or 8 rupees or 9 rupees, the claim will not be considered because it falls under franchise class. That's called franchise. Suppose the claim amount is 11 rupees. It has already exceeded the franchise, so he is eligible for the claim. Is it? Understand? Okay. Once he becomes eligible, whether there is any more other deductible class is there in the particular claim. What is deductible? Yeah, the portion he has to bear. It could be a contribution or it could be an excess. Suppose there is excess in that 100 rupees he has to bear, about 10 rupees means. So what will happen? He has crossed the franchise, so he is eligible for a claim amount of 100 rupees, but that will not be paid to him. Again, the excess will be applied, 10 rupees, only 90 rupees will be paid to him. So he has to, if the claim falls within the franchise, the claim will not be considered. If the claim exceeds the franchise, the claim will be considered. But when the claim is considered, whether the excess is another condition is there. If the excess is condition is there, that will be taken from the customer so that only the balance portion will be settled. So, sir, what are the subjects, line of business where both franchise and excess applied? Most of the cases only excess is applied. Only franchise applied is very rare. But what are the cases both franchise and excess applied? Yes. In case of plantation insurance under miscellaneous, any plantation claim, both franchise and excess is applied. And is there any other line of business both franchise and excess applied? Yes. In marine policy, both franchise and excess applied. So finished. Now you are very thorough about excess class. Now we are very thorough about franchise class. If the question is framed in any way, in any subject during the examination, because you sat, relaxed and rolled your mind over excess and franchise, any question connected to excess and franchise, it is a jujube for you. You can easily attend and pick up the right answer. This is how, whenever you read a part of question, whenever an objective type, when you skip the other three answers, you have to recall where it belongs, how it is interpreted. That is how you have to read 360-degree way. Then it will be easy for you at the time of exam. You will never get confused whenever a question is asked. At that time, sir, I read there, whether it is applied here, that kind of confusion will never come. Whenever there is a possibility of sitting at home, relaxing yourself, recalling by closing your eyes, whenever it is possible, you more and more will be thorough in the subject and you will be definitely excel in the examination by scoring more mark. With this, I will come to the subject now. See, before getting to the subject, I just wanted to tell you what all I shared with you now, how you have to prepare for your exam in case of miscellaneous policy. For example, you take this question. The best example of insurance of persons under miscellaneous insurance. The best example of insurance of persons under miscellaneous insurance. So they are asking the best example of insurance of persons. So the answers they are given: workman, employee compensation, personal accident policy, householders policy, credit insurance policy. See, all these four answers, though it's connected to person and their assets, But there is one particular answer only connected to the persons. You may think, sir, workman is also a person. Employee compensation policy also connected to the employees only, sir. They are also persons. If I choose the question, why it is not correct? Yes, it is not correct, my dear, because workman and employee compensation, it's not coming under insurance of persons, it is coming under insurance of liability, because the entire miscellaneous line of business, it is divided into different category: insurance of persons, insurance of property, insurance of liability, insurance of interest. So insurance of persons means something connected to individuals. For example, health insurance, it is an insurance of person. Personal accident policy, it is insurance of person. So something, suppose the assets owned by the person is covered. For example, house, that comes under insurance of property, householders. And workman, that is comes under insurance of liability. And what is insurance of interest? See, that fiduciary relationship, that is FG policy, and he has his own employees, they have to have a trust. It goes on trust. Something has happened, and that be a loss for the employer. So that comes under your interest. So interest could be a fiduciary relationship. It could be also credit also. For example, under credit insurance, there are two types of credit insurance. One is credit insurance, another one is credit guarantee insurance. What is the difference? This is the example of insurance of interest. Please understand. Insurance of persons, the example is health insurance, PA policy. Insurance of property, the example is any assets owned by the claimant, the customer. For example, house, horse, cattle, anything, any assets that's owned by that is insurance of property. Okay. Then insurance of liability, example I already told you, but when we discuss about liability insurance, I will tell you more about liability insurance. But today, just this place, you would understand any liability arising out of act or any liability arising out of civil common law or tort, because as per the civil law, he has to compensate the victim, he has to compensate the injured person. So that is comes under law, common law, legal aspects. So that is workman, employee. So that is also a part of miscellaneous insurance, insurance of liability. The last one, the insurance of interest. Interest of the person who was given money, or interest of the person who has entrusted the work to somebody. For example, the fiduciary relationship, FG, comes under the insurance of interest. And the bank has financed the loanee. Then the loanee has to pay back the amount on installment. But in case the loanee dies, and who is going to pay back the loan? So for that, the bank will take a policy against the borrower. So that comes under credit insurance. What is credit guarantee insurance? Credit guarantee insurance is not allowed in India by IRDAI. Please understand. Credit guarantee means somebody failed to pay, somebody will take, say that you please pay money. For example, a financier is there, a financier, and he comes to the insurance company. Sir, I have been giving loan, I'm lending money to many people. If for any reason, not only death, even if it is absconding, if the person is not traceable, for any reason, the person is not going to pay back my money, can I get an insurance policy? Can you give me a guarantee that that person is not paying money for any reason? Can you please pay from the insurance company? If the person is asking an insurance company, that policy is called credit guarantee policy. Please understand, my dear friend, credit guarantee policy is prohibited in India by IRDAI, so that is not come under the example of insurance or interest here. The only example, your credit given by the bank to the loanee and the borrower, or the fiduciary relationship. Okay, now see, only one answer. The answer is very easy. You simply picked a personal accident, but I requested not to skip the other three, but you have to stay there and recall what way it is associated. That is why it took little more time to complete the first question. We'll go to the next question. The theft of part of the contents of a package or stealing of items in small quantities is referred as, please understand, the question is theft of part of the content. It is not the entire content is under theft. Only a part, a portion, a bit of portion, contents package or stealing of item in small quantities referred as. The answer is robbery, burglary, pilferage, larceny. Suppose the question is come. For a junior, he can simply, if he knows the answer, he can simply pick up the answer. For a senior, he can also pick up the answer very easily, but that doesn't mean he can skip all other 3 answers just for reading for the exam. For the exam, you can skip because you may not waste your time. What is that in the exam? Once you pick up the right answer, you can go to the next question. But while reading for exam, you should not skip the answers. You should stay there. In case the question is made in a different way, I should be able to pick up the other answers also, so that we have to know what are the other 3. For example, what is this robbery, burglary, pilferage, larceny? It is nothing but it's actually some kind of act of theft or under burglary insurance. So when you read burglary insurance under miscellaneous policy, you are expected to know certain words. For example, theft, and next larceny, and next is your pilferage, and next is your burglary. And under burglary you have to learn, under burglary you have to learn theft, larceny, pilferage, then you have to know robbery, then you have to also know about dacoity. So you should know what way they are different. See, here the question is connected to only one act of burglary. It's not called directly burglary, it's a different kind of loss. It's a different kind of loss. So what way the loss is differentiated? What way the loss is categorized? See, for example, if a thing owned by somebody has been stolen, and what can be stolen? A movable and unmovable. Can be an unmovable property can be stolen? No, unmovable house cannot be stolen. But a movable property can be stolen. Suppose somebody has kept outside the home something, and somebody has taken. And for example, I am taking a class in a offline session, not an online session. My laptop is there. During tea break, I came out and I had a tea, and I'm coming back again to the classroom. I find that the laptop is missing. So what is this called? So something is happening with the known people. See, definitely the laptop would have been taken by one of the known people. It could be by the participant, it could be by the hotel people who are working there. It cannot be an outsider who has come suddenly and took away. It could be the persons who are in the premises. So if it happens to any one of the known person, but we are not able to identify, it is called larceny. If it is taken by an unknown person, a movable property, it is called theft. Okay, then suppose if somebody is trying to snatch, and somebody trying to assault and snatch and take away the property, it is called robbery. If more than that, one person, 5 people are coming and damaging the property, injuring the people, assaulting the people, then more than the 5 people, it is called dacoity. So this all comes under different classes of burglary. But how it is differentiated in miscellaneous insurance, that's what you have to know. So what is the question here? Contents of package or stealing of items. So here something is different. So robbery is not coming under the question. Burglary is a general word. Larceny, I already told you, the entire laptop is taken, not the small, it cannot be segregated. Laptop cannot be made into bits. Then what is that? Suppose a tanker is going on the road. In the tanker, and they kept the driver has kept on the highway. He wants to have a sleep. He wants to have a nap because he's very tired. He's sleeping. While he's sleeping, the local village people, where nearby the tanker is stopped, halted to take a rest by the driver. So these people will go there, and they can even put a small hole from an oil tanker or a gas tanker. They can steal a small quantity of petrol or a diesel. By leaking petrol, they can take away in a small container. Or suppose it is a rice bags. The lorry driver wants to take a rest. He's taking rest. Somebody knows there are bags containing wheats or rice. So they want to take away little rice from the bag. They cannot take the entire bundle of sacks. So what they do, they simply go and pour a big thick needle, and they make small quantity of rice to come out, and the rice they are putting into the small container. All people are taking away. So stealing of things in a small quantity is referred as pilferage. So pilferage is the word. It is not connected to a regular theft or regular larceny or regular dacoity or regular robbery, but it's a small quantity it is taken. Whether it is okay. Now you have picked up the right answer. So I already explained what is robbery. Burglary is a general word. Under that, your theft, larceny, pilferage, and your robbery, dacoity, all are coming. Okay, forget it. Then larceny, I already explained. One of the known person, that's called larceny. But here, small quantity, so it's applied to pilferage. So you have selected right answer. At the same time, you also went through what is robbery, what is burglary, what is larceny. Okay, very good. But here, you should not stop. Okay, the question is connected to pilferage, but I have read all the policies. For example, I have read marine, I have read fire and engineering, because in an exam, all the 4 subjects will be in the same paper. You have to select the subject of insurance. So you cannot simply think only miscellaneous what I am going to teach you. So whenever you are reading an answer, you have to correlate. Sir, pilferage, I have not seen in any other miscellaneous policy. Wherein pilferage is coming in insurance industry, wherein pilferage is connected to the subject matter of insurance. Can you please recall? You are asking me now. So here only you have to think, yes, pilferage is coming under 2 policies. One is coming under your, suppose if it is a marine transit and somebody has taken, the pilferage might come, provided if he has taken the cover. But wherein in miscellaneous policy, it comes in liability, carrier's legal liability, one subject policy is there, one policy is there, carrier's legal liability, wherein we give the liability of the carrier while transporting the goods of the customer. If something happens, the carrier owner has to pay the compensation for on his behalf. The insurance company will pay. That's called carrier liability. That I am going to discuss with you when I am going to discuss about liability insurance. So pilferage comes in under miscellaneous only in carrier's legal liability. Pilferage is not normally covered in any other policy. So that is what you have to complete the second question, and you have to proceed the third question. Which of the policy where theft is not an exclusion? Now, the answer is neon sign, cattle, rabbit, poultry and birds. Please understand, the question is about theft. So you have read about theft. Theft is maybe a regular inclusion, may not be a regular inclusion, it may be an add-on cover, depends upon the type of the policy. That's what you have to think when you read the question before going to the exam center. At home, you have to think whenever you cross the objective type. Theft is maybe a direct peril covered in some subjects. Theft may not be a direct peril, maybe an add-on cover. Just think where it is an add-on cover, where it is a direct peril. In case of householder's policy, it is a direct peril. In case of shopkeeper's policy, it is not a direct peril covered, it is an add-on cover. If the shopkeeper has not paid extra premium as an add-on cover, if theft occurs in the shop, the claim will not be paid. So you have to think, not only that, wherein theft is excluded under miscellaneous insurance. In cattle insurance, theft is excluded. Clandestine sale. Clandestine sale means the owner itself selling the cattle and coming and crying in front of the insurance agent, sir, my cattle has been stolen, theft has occurred. So he is making a drama. So that is called clandestine sale. So that is not covered, and theft is not covered. Rabbit, theft is not covered. Poultry, birds, theft is not covered. Then wherein theft is covered in miscellaneous insurance? I already told you, in householders policy is covered. And householders policy is the only policy, larceny is also covered. No other policy larceny is covered. Please understand, my dear friend, no other policy larceny is covered. Only larceny where we discussed in the previous question, that is covered in householders policy. But in a shopkeeper's policy, theft is add-on covered. Okay, is there any other policy theft is add-on cover? Yes, dear. In a dog insurance policy, theft is an add-on cover. In a honeybee policy, theft is an add-on cover. So, before jumping to the next question, how much of time you are taking to understand the question and answer? That is how you have to read for the exam. Simply jumping to the next question, it is not going to make you very thorough for the exam. If you are going to just spend some time in each and every question and answer and correlating the answers with some and recalling your mind, and definitely any kind of question, even the tough question, will not confuse you. You can easily pick up the right answer. Okay, now we'll go to the next question. So the answer is neon sign. Here you should understand which of the policies where theft is not an exclusion. See, cattle is excluded, rabbit is excluded, poultry and birds is excluded, but neon sign, you would have not, some of you would have selected a wrong answer while I am discussing with you. Why neon sign theft is not an exclusion? Because neon sign theft is automatically covered. Please understand, my dear friend. What is theft? Taking away a movable property from the owner. Okay, so to make you understand very simply, I am clarifying. But one thing you must understand, in insurance industry, anything kept in open is not covered under theft. Anything kept in open, anything kept unattended, it is not covered for theft. Example, your agriculture pump set. In an agriculture pump set, if you are just keeping after using the pump set, if you are just leaving the pump set on the field, next day you are coming back and finding yourself somebody has stolen the agriculture pump set, whether it's covered? No, it's not covered because it's kept in open. If it has been locked under a door in a small room, chamber, the lock is broken and somebody has taken the agriculture pump set, that is covered because that comes under burglary. Okay, so anything kept in open is not covered under theft. But neon sign is always kept in open. How this theft cover is given? Our insurance people are very clever. They know very well nobody will steal the neon sign because neon sign is something connected to advertisement. Even if they take, that tubes will not be useful to the person who has stolen. And even if they take, he is not going to advertise on behalf of the neon sign owner. So it is not going to be useful. Theft will never occur. So knowingly theft will never occur. Our insurance people have beautifully added the theft which is not going to happen. So it is an underwriting way, adding something cover which is not really useful to the customer. But for examination point of view, you must understand theft is not an exclusion even though it is kept in open like other policies where kept in open is not covered. This is how you have to complete and go to the next question. So see, each and every question, how much of time I am taking, how much of knowledge I am trying to input into your mind, how much of association connected to the answers I am making you to recall. This is how you have to read. If you are going to give your mind, if you are going to stay with me, if you are going to walk along with me to the entire day for the miscellaneous insurance, and if you are going to rehearse after my session, the slides are shared, the topics will be shared with you. Once if you read the question after my class, you need not spend much time on miscellaneous, you will be very thorough. That kind of confidence I can give you. The way, if you read the way I am telling you, it will never confuse you. I know many people are very afraid of selecting miscellaneous policy because they think miscellaneous is a very big subject. It's a very vast subject. It's very difficult to understand. No, it is not like that. Miscellaneous is very simple, very easy to understand, and everyday life is connected. Your cattle is connected, your rabbit is connected, your dancing, every day you are seeing, and everything is connected to you in your life. So if you take some interest, if you analyze your mind, the questions will be very easy. You will never get confused. Going to the next question. The Employees Compensation Act as amended stipulates a minimum amount of compensation towards accidental death of an employee. So in this question, first you should understand that workman compensation is no more called workman compensation. It is redesigned in the name of Employees Compensation Act. So your 1923 is different, later it has been changed. Again, they also changed a lot of new rules. How long the WIIC Commissioner can take to give an award, a time limit has been stipulated. The WIIC Commissioner cannot take its own time to give an award. So now within 3 months you have to give. Such a new thing, it's come under the modified, updated class. Then they also increase the compensation at times of death. While during working environment, if something happened, a death has occurred to an employee during the course of the work, the compensation to be given by the employer because it's a liability under this act. So the employer has to pay the money. Instead of paying the money, what he is doing, he is taking an employee's compensation insurance from insurance company. The insurance company will pay on behalf of the employee the compensation as stipulated by the act. So now it is changed. So what is the amount in case of death? The amount is 1,20,000. It is the maximum amount. It could be a minimum amount also, depends upon the formula what they are going to use while calculating the compensation. That we are going to learn at the time in the afternoon when I am going to teach you the liability insurance. But here, if I started teaching you now, time may not be enough. So you please understand, employee compensation is a new name. The amount of liabilities have been increased. Now in case of death, it is 1,20,000. Okay. In case of, what is 1,40,000? It is actually in case of permanent total disablement. You may be wondering, sir, death is a major incident. The person will be no more. But a permanent disability, the person is going to be alive. Why for permanent disability, the compensation is much more? Have you ever thought? Yes, dear, because his lifelong is going to suffer. So that is why the compensation is much more in case of permanent total disability, 100% permanent disability. For that, 1,40,000. Then all other things are different. The numbers is coming at different places, which we will discuss later. The 25,000 where it comes, the 15,000 where it comes different. But as far as employee compensation is concerned, you must know what is the latest changes in the Act. That is I am going to tell you at the time of teaching you the liability insurance. And coming to the other questions, in case of acquired sickness abroad, the maximum days of cover provided in the OMP employment and study. You see, OMP policy, it's a common to all 4 companies. You are expected to read only the subject matter that is common to all 4 companies. Company specific product, don't waste your time, because something unique to United India, something unique to National or New India will not be the question for you. So the common for all things. So OMP is a common. So OMP is a common subject for all 4 companies. So what is the question? Acquired. What is acquired? Acquired means after taking the policy, somebody subject to sickness. What is opposite to acquired? Opposite to acquired is pre-existing. Already there before taking the policy. That is what you have to understand the question. The question is asked acquired. That means after taking the policy, how long the cover will be there, effective. So the answer is given 52 weeks after a sickness or expiry of the policy, whichever is earlier, 52 weeks after sickness, irrespective of the expiry of the policy, 52 weeks after sickness, or 12 weeks after the expiration date of insurance, whichever is earlier, or within 52 weeks of inception of the policy. The same answer is given in a different way. Okay, the B answer is given in a different way in D, that's all. But the answer is here 52 weeks after sickness or 12 weeks after the expiration date of the insurance. That means under OMP policy, even expiration of the policy, the effect of claim is continuing at the maximum of 12 weeks after the expiration of the policy. So what the clause says, if somebody has acquired a disease after taking OMP policy when he has gone abroad for studies and employment, if he fell sick during the course of the policy, but the policy is going to expire, okay, but maximum 12 weeks, even the expiration is continuing, after that it will stop. Or it has occurred immediately after taking the policy. It could occur. Any infectious disease can come. So in that case, maximum 52 weeks. 52 weeks, nothing but it's almost, if you calculate the weeks into months and into year, it is almost 1 year. So the policy is taking care of almost 1 year if it has occurred after taking the policy, or it's going to expire not more than 12 weeks after the expiration of the policy. This is the answer for this C under OMP. Next, as per IRDA norms, the following is incorrect with regard to health insurance proposal. I am going to teach you health insurance in the next class because time will not be enough for you to learn about health insurance today. The next class is there, the end of the week. In that case, I will be totally concentrating on health insurance, because health insurance has to know, you have to know more about IRDA, more about new regulations, more about circulars. So I will be spending more time on health insurance in the last class, where I am going to come to you in the end of the session. End of the session means end of this particular training session. Okay, but today we will see now, as per IRDA norm, the following is incorrect with regards to health insurance proposal. What is the answer? Denial of proposal shall be in writing and shall be the last resort. Please understand the question. The question is incorrect. That means out of the 4, 3 answers are correct. Only one is wrong. So you should know what are the right answers. And when you know what are the 3 right answers, you can simply pick up the one wrong answer. So denial of proposal shall be in writing and shall be the last resort. Yes, you simply cannot deny any proposal as far as health insurance is concerned as per the IRDA regulation. You, for all you deny the proposal, you have to give in writing why you are not accepting the proposal. It is IRDA rule. So that is the right answer, but that cannot be picked up because the question is about wrong answer. Norms are to be incorporated to protect the privacy of the policyholders. Yes, protection of the policyholders is one of the important conditions under IRDA rule. This is connected to IRDA because IRDA connected to health insurance or other miscellaneous insurance also. IRDA is there. I will be sharing with you in the forthcoming time. Okay, so norms to be incorporated to protect the policyholders' interest to be protected because separate clause is there. So that is also a right answer. Okay, proposal to be specific to specific policy. See, for example, a person has come for health insurance. You have to get this question. The answer says specific to specific policy. For health, you have to get a separate proposal. For a PA policy, you have to get a separate proposal. For a motor insurance, you have to get a separate proposal. For a householder's policy, you have to get a separate. This is a question. Answer is there. Whether it is correct, go to the last answer. Insurers are now permitted to use the same proposal form for any number of their product. Yeah, IRD has come out with a new regulation. Don't unnecessarily trouble the customer by asking every time a new proposal. You always create a database. The demographic detail of the customer you must be having in your system. With that demographic detail, that particular details of the customer can be taken as proposal for any other policy. So it need not be specific to specific policy. The answer is D. The answer is C. For example, no, I think this is denial of proposal shall be in writing and will be the last resort. Okay. So this tick should come in this, where it should come? C. I think it has changed a little. I will correct it when I give you a printout. So the tick should come under C because it cannot be specific to specific policy. The same insurers are permitted to use the same proposal for any number of product. So what is the incorrect answer? You see here, D is the correct answer and B is the correct answer, A is the correct answer. So the right answer what you have to pick up is a C. So the tick mark should come under C. So I will change it. So here you please understand, but inadvertently the tick has gone there in between A and B. That's not right. It should come under C. So I will correct when I give you the slide printout to you for your follow-up. Okay, we'll go to the next question. The last question. Check out the odd sentence in Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana crop insurance, that is PMFBY scheme. See, why this is being taught to you now? Why this is being taught to you now? Please understand, the examiners are very much interested not only about your knowledge in the subject of the book, how best you are also aware of things that is associated with insurance whenever we are involved with the government schemes. Because all our 4 companies are involved in some government schemes and we are also underwriting on behalf of the government and settling the claim. It could be a state government, it could be a central government. State government may not be the same because state government, it is not applying for your exam because state government go to the individual insurance companies. It is not common for all government companies. But central government policies, products wherein insurance company are part of the scheme, it is common to all 4 companies. For example, Rashtriya Bima Yojana, Rashtriya Swasthya Bima Yojana, RSBY, that is common for all 4 companies. Like that, in miscellaneous, there are some policies like public liability, or there are some policies like your personal accident policy, or are some policies like agriculture insurance like Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. These are common to all 4 companies. So here, the question may be simple for juniors, the question may be complex for seniors. So what is the question here? Check out the odd sentence. That means all the other 3 sentences are correct, 1 is not correct. So we have to select the wrong answer. First, we will go through all the 4. All farmers includes tenant, farmers, sharecroppers, growing notified crops in notified areas. So the scheme covers all farmers, includes tenant farmers, sharecroppers and notified. See what you understand? This scheme is only for notified crops in notified areas. It is correct. So that is not an odd sentence. So you cannot pick up this answer because the scheme is for farmers, those who are working on some other's land as a tenant, and that is applying for them. And somebody is working on the land, but whatever they produce, the produce they have to share with the owner. That's called sharecroppers. So for them also it is applies. But for what applies? For a notified, not all crops, only certain notified crops. What are the crops? That we are going to read when we are going to read about Pradhan Mantri scheme. But here I will restrict whether this particular A is relevant to the question. Yes, it is not odd, it is correct, so it cannot be picked up. Farmers must have a valid insurable interest. If there is no insurable interest, if somebody has land where they are not tenant, where they are encroached, they are not legally, they are not owner, they are not sharecropper, there is no understanding between the owner and them because there is no MOU or land possession certificate and there is no record, but somebody has occupied, encroached, they are cultivating. That is not insurable interest. So they must have insurable interest. For them also it is applies. So it is not an odd answer. Compulsory enrollment for loany farmers, yes. To get into the scheme, those who borrow loan from the bankers, they are automatically covered. Those who are not borrowed any loan, they are not automatically covered. It is only voluntary and they have to opt directly with the insurance company. So they need not come through the bank. They can directly get to the insurance company website. They can apply for the cover. They can get to this. This is also correct. Then what is the last answer? Farmers must apply for coverage within the prescribed time frame, typically within 6 weeks of the start of the sowing season. So this policy, this particular scheme covers many different things. Sowing cover is there, harvest is cover is there, post-harvest cover is there. All this we will read in the forthcoming slides. Don't bother about now. Now what you have to understand, if you have read about Pradhan Mantri scheme, or if you are comfortable after I am teaching you about Pradhan Mantri scheme in the forthcoming classes, you can easily pick up the answer because it may not be comfortable for you because this is a new subject for somebody who are already appeared for exam, might have read in the last year. For them it may be comfortable. For many of them who are appearing first time may not be comfortable. Many of them who are not knowing this government scheme also should be read for examination. But you won't believe, last year for seniors, more than 3 to 4 questions came in the same Pradhan Mantri Fasal scheme. More than 3 to 4 questions. It is not 1 or 2 questions. So you have to be very thorough with the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, which I am going to teach you very easy way. Don't worry about it. But here the answer is last one. Farmers must apply for coverage. Why? Because the scheme says they have to apply within 2 weeks of the starting of sowing season. Then only the sowing cover can be given. Once it has grown like big tree, once it has grown like a big plant, then after that they come because the flood is going to come or drought is going to come. It is expected. It is not uncertainty. So once, see, insurance covers only uncertainty. Insurance cannot cover certainty. If he knows it's going to happen, if it comes for insurance, we will not give. If he is taking a policy, if it at all it comes, insurance company should help. That is uncertainty. So once it's sowed, once a plant has been seeded on the ground, within 2 weeks they have to take the cover. Why it is more specific? For loany farmers, bank will take care. For non-loany farmers, they should not come once a plant has grown, and once the plant is going to subject for any calamity, they should not come and take a policy. That is why the condition they put within 2 weeks. But here the answer is 6 weeks. So this is an odd sentence. This is a wrong sentence. So this is how you have to select for this question. So please understand, any question in an objective type, you have to read, understand, concentrate, analyze, discuss. If you are studying partner with you, you can discuss, or over phone, or asking in this WhatsApp group. And when you are comfortable, When you are confident, reverse, wherein it applies. Wherein the same kind of answer is also applying somewhere. For example, I told you about excess. Excess is not only there in one subject, it's there in many subjects, excess comes. Like that, you have to reverse. So you will be very confident. Now we are going to the exact subject. So what I did so far, my dear friends, see, reading for exam is not enough. I can simply talk whatever there in the book. This is covered, this is not covered. And this is the way you have to pick up the right answer. This is the way you have to pick up the wrong answer. This is the way I can teach you very easily. I cannot trouble myself at this age. And but still, I am taking so much of time for understanding the question, because that is the most important critical aspect of your mind. If you are not going to understand the exam and answers, and the way I taught you before this slide, whatever you learned, whatever you try to understand from the book, if you are not going to analyze, if you are not going to think in 360 dimension, if you are not going to reverse, it will confuse you at the examination table. You will see, somewhere I studied this, somewhere I studied this, whether this belongs to that, whether that belongs to this. That kind of confusion will create, and you may be in not in a comfortable position. But if you read like what I taught you, the objective type, you will be very, very thorough, and you will never do any mistake, my dear friends. Now we will go to the miscellaneous insurance. Under miscellaneous insurance, we are going to discuss, I already told you, broadly classified into insurance of persons, insurance of property, insurance of liability, insurance of interest. So, how the line of business is classified for any IRDA point of view or revenue point of view? The line of business in insurance industry for any four companies, all four companies, how it is classified as per IRDA revenue section: fire, marine and miscellaneous. Please understand that fire is pure fire. Any accounts, any statistics to be given to IRDA only under fire only. That will never include engineering. Even though for examination point of view, you study both fire and engineering, but revenue point of view for IRDA norms, you will be submitting accounts over fire line of business separately, marine line of business separately, miscellaneous line of business separately. Under miscellaneous line of business, you got different subsections. What are? Motor. So my dear friend, motor comes under miscellaneous. But I am not going to teach you motor, because already it has been told you by a motor faculty. But you must know, for a revenue point of view, motor comes under miscellaneous. Then liability, that comes under miscellaneous. Engineering, that comes under miscellaneous. And apart from that, there are some more sub-subjects are there under miscellaneous. What are? Health and personal accident, rural and social insurance, other miscellaneous. It may be a conventional or non-conventional, what we say non-traditional, what we normally say. And apart from that, some regulations of IRDA that is connected to only miscellaneous. So what I am going to teach you today, I am going to teach you general miscellaneous, liability, and I am not going to touch your marine, I am not going to touch your motor, I am not going to touch your engineering, because it is already told to you. But you will be learning health and PA, rural, social, other miscellaneous and regulation. Please understand, everything may be looking very big subject. No, it's very, very easy if you are going to be with me in the continuous classes. Okay, now we'll go to one by one. Under miscellaneous, we are going to learn personal accident today, health and OAP not today, it will be in the last session, burglary today, money insurance today, fidelity guarantee today, bankers indemnity today, jewelers block, other miscellaneous, reinsurance. I am not going to teach you reinsurance, because reinsurance is an exclusive subject, would be dealt by a separate faculty. But you must know some little part of reinsurance connected to miscellaneous, because I have seen in the examination one or two reinsurance questions also coming under miscellaneous itself, because they will be asking this product of miscellaneous insurance insured under which section of reinsurance. They might ask you. It has been asked. They are asking you every year. That doesn't mean you can simply skip the entire reinsurance. I am not going to teach you the complete reinsurance here. I am going to teach you only the product that belongs to which part of reinsurance. Okay, then rural insurance. This is an interesting part where we'll be learning about people, property, plantation and package policies. Now we'll go to personal accident policy. Under personal accident policy, I want you to sit with me now before I teach you each and every word, because most of the words you may be aware, especially seniors, they are very comfortable with the personal accident because they would have sold many products, but juniors would have also done some underwriting. But there are certain words connected to insurance. There are certain connected to important for examination point of view. So you just recall what all you know about personal accident before I share my knowledge on behalf of the examination point of view. You just go through. A personal accident has got some insurance principles. What are the insurance principles? You know, utmost good faith, indemnity, okay, subrogation, contribution, many things are there, you know. So all you will recall. Then you know what is personal accident, whether it's an indemnity policy or a benefit policy, just recall. And under personal accident policy, the most important thing is what you learn about proximate cost. Why proximate cost? You are going to give the policy only for the people involved with the proximate costs, which is underwritten. You can't give some other proximate cost which is not covered by the policy. So you should know what is proximate cost, what is remote cost. Not only enough to know what is proximate cost and what is remote cost, you should also know what is intervening cost. Why you should know? Because for a junior, they will say whether the claim is payable or not. Or they will ask you which is the proximate cost. So you simply pick up this approximate cost, your answer is over. For a senior, they will give you a narration, a small story. And in the story you should find out what is the cause of death, which is the reason for cause of death. Because in the story there may be proximate cause, there may be intervening cause, there may be remote cause, but you should find out which is the ultimate cause that resulted in death. If it is ultimate cause resulting in death due to accident, the claim is payable. If the ultimate cause is not due to accident, that is a covered class, it is not payable. So you have to use your mind and pick up the right answer, whether the claim is payable or not. So this is how you have to prepare for exam. And what are the different type of personal accident policy? There are different type of personal accident policy. There are off-duty cover, on-duty cover. Okay, and not only that, there are some other policies also there, like personal accident social insurance scheme. Okay, Rajeshwari. Then your girl child policy, Bhageshwari policy, student safety policy, road safety policy. What are they? They are all modified personal accident policy only. So how they are different? So before reading personal accident policy, just have a glance. What is your level of understanding about this subject? See, teaching line by line, teaching word by word by looking at the slide, that is not a good faculty. That is not a good faculty. I am going to trigger your mind. I am only triggering your mind. By this time you should know something about personal accident policy. You are not a direct recruit where I am going to explain what is personal, what is accident, what is insurance. That is not required for you. You are already put up some service in insurance industry. So before reading the subject, before opening the book, first you study what is your status of understanding. All these things. Whether medical expenses covered, whether vehicle compensation is there, what is the sum insured, whether sum insured is called CSA, capital sum insured, whether all the sum insured is covered or only the insurance connected to the amount connected to gainful employment, how long, what is the sum insured to be calculated, maximum how many weeks, whether war has come, whether war risk is applied, what are the risk, what kind of people we can cover, what kind of people we cannot cover, and if an accident occurred, whether the accident, what type of accident, whether in the road accident, suppose somebody trying to cross the signal, when the red is there, he is not supposed to cross. He has to wait till the green signal comes, but he crossed. In the process, he died on the road. Whether it's a payable, it's not an accident. It is also accident, but is it payable or not? Whether it's illegal, whether it's against the law, and somebody is trying to kill. Say, for example, I am trying to kill a person. I am a PA policy holder, but the person who is got attacked, he again taking a defense. He is trying to attack me. In the process, I died because I am a personal accident holder, but I tried to kill the other person. Whether it's a provocation, whether provocation, accident, provocation and death occurs, whether it is covered under PA policy, all things Before opening the book, you should analyze what is your state level of understanding. And suppose somebody is intentionally damaging himself to get a claim. See, for example, in a workman compensation policy, employees compensation policy, if some employees want money, what they will do, they will hurt their finger, they will hurt their hand. They will try to get a compensation from the insurance company to take care of immediate need of money. Intentional self-injury. We have seen, when I was working in insurance industry, I have seen false claim where it is not a false claim, actually they got injured, but it is self-inflicted injury. Whether self-inflicted injury is payable under PA, if it is payable, in which circumstances is payable. If it is not payable, in which circumstances is not payable. Murder, homicide. What is homicide? Homicide is meant killing a person. Whether murder is also killing a person. Somebody is hit against a person on the road because of his car or two-wheeler. He killed the person. It is also killing a person. Whether all homicide is covered? Yeah, as a Jawan is going to the field. He is killing the enemy by shooting his AK-47. He is killing. That is also homicide. That is covered under PA policy. Please understand all these things. What is your level of understanding before studying in the book? If you simply get into the subject, it is not going to. If you are thinking what is your level, then only you can understand at which level you are standing. Sir, so many of the things I don't understand, sir. Suppose the questions comes, how I am going to answer? So I have to clear my mind. So some things are telling what is homicide. All murders are culpable homicide. All murders are culpable homicide. But not all homicides are murders. So then you have to understand what is homicide. Homicide means killing a human by another human. A human being is killing another human, it's called homicide. So homicide may be a murder. Suppose he particularly is killing for a personal reason. That's become murder. The same homicide in the battlefield. A Jawan kills an enemy. That is not homicide. That is not a murder, even though it's a homicide. That's why it's called all murders are culpable homicide. Jawan's killing is homicide, but all homicides are not murders. Please understand. And a person got killed by a car because of a rash driving. Whether it's called murder? No, it cannot be called as murder. It could be any reason. It could be, unless there's an intention of killing him, it's a murder. It becomes a criminal act. But there's no intention. But this fellow actually unstable, drunken driving, or the car was unstable, the tire got busted, or the steering failed, and the brake failed, ultimately resulted in death of a pedestrian. So in that case, it cannot be called as murder. It should be called as manslaughter. So manslaughter is something connected to road accident, where unintentional killing of another person by another human. So you should understand. So now we'll go to the subject. I only triggered your mind. We'll go one by one. Personal accident insurance. Basic principles. Utmost good faith. What is utmost good faith connected to PA policy? Whatever the person comes and tell you before taking the policy, he has to disclose the fact. What is the fact he has to disclose? What is the nature of his age? What is kind of income he is having, gainful income? He's a salaried people, that's a gainful income. Suppose he is not a salary, he's a freelance person. He's getting some honorarium, and as long as he's going to be alive, he will be getting honorarium. So something, as long as he's going to alive, is going to get, that is called gainful employment. Once he dies, he will not get. That is not coming under gainful employment. For example, something will get, something the nominee will get even after death of this particular person. Rent, you take house rent. House rent will not stop when the owner is died. The house rent has to be paid to the owner's nominee. So that is continuing. That is not an example of gainful employment. So gainful employment, he has to discuss, he has to tell the insurance company what kind of employment is there. He may be in a low risk category, he may be in a high risk category. For example, if he is a doctor, he is a teacher, he is in a low risk category. If in an architect, always climbing up the stairs and finding out how the building is being constructed, he is a high risk category. Suppose the person who is working in a mines, explosives, it's a very high risk category. So according to that, we will classify, according to that we will get the premium. So he has to tell the truth, utmost good faith. So what he is telling, now today he is working in a medical shop. We are allowing him under risk 1 category. Tomorrow he will leave the job, he will go and join in some other industry where the mining is happening. So he will be in the mines field. So he is exposing himself in a very risky task. So he is not coming under risk 1, he is coming under risk 2, risk 3, I'm sorry, risk 3. It's not a moderate risk, it's high risk. Risk 3. So mines is 3. So if he has not told to us, if any crime occurs, he has not disclosed the fact. So it comes under failure of utmost good faith. So utmost good faith is very, very important. If any changes in the nature of job, if there is any changes in the nature of employment, he has to tell even during the course of the policy, at the time of taking the policy. That's called utmost good faith. Okay. Insurable interest. You will be reading utmost good faith in some other aspect. If a person comes with a motorcycle for insurance, he must be the owner as per the RC. That is a different one. Here in miscellaneous point of view, I am talking about utmost good faith. Whatever it tells about his employment, we accept it, we take it in a good faith. What he says is the truth. But he should also tell the truth whenever the changes occurs. That's what applying to PA policy. Insurable interest. What is insurable interest? Life has no value. Life has unlimited. You cannot judge, I am only worth for 1 crore. Tomorrow I may be a pauper. Tomorrow I may be a big industrialist. Who knows, at the age of 70, 80, people have become big, owning a big corporate offices. Multi-millionaire. I have seen people, even after 60 years, they are becoming a multi-millionaire. So you cannot judge it. But what is insurable interest? First, whether he is insuring for himself. Yes, for my life is important. I have got an insurable interest. My wife, it's my part of life interest. My children, part of life. So I have unlimited interest. You cannot keep, I am worth only for this, my wife is worth for this, my child or children are worth for this. You cannot do. But they are not earning means you can fix, limit the liability. If they are earning means you can go with the gainful employment. What is the maximum amount? Based on the salary, based on the income tax is paid. Suppose they are not having a salary, but if they are paying income tax every year, based on the income tax, we know how much is income every year, annual income. Based on that, we can go up to 72 weeks. I already told you like that. So in that case, exactly how do you do, what is the earning capacity, but a life we don't have, you can go for unlimited. What is limited? Limited means, suppose the employer going to take policy for a employees, he is only concerned to the compensation that he need to pay for the employee's family. So that is limited. He cannot say, no, my employee is like my life. I cannot fix a limit. He cannot talk like that because it is not connected to the insured person, like insured wife, children. Even for that, children we give only 25% of the capital sum insured. So anything financially limited, we will go with the limited type of insurable interest. So insurable interest can be unlimited, insurable can be limited. Indemnity. Life. If you want to take multiple policies, you cannot prevent, no, you should take only from, once you take from United India, you cannot take from a private company, you cannot take from a New India, you cannot. He can have any number of policies because his life may be better. He may be a multi-millionaire tomorrow. So he cannot stop there, it's invaluable. It's not a pure conduct of indemnity. So it's a benefit policy. That's why the indemnity is applied in personal accident policy. It's a benefit policy. So proposal based on employment, gainful employment. I already told you maximum, here note down, maximum 72 months. 72 months means it comes around almost 5 to 6 years. 6 years normally comes 72 months. Okay. So 60 months means it's 5 years. So 72 months means almost 6 years. That is the maximum amount you can go as per our insurance, gainful employment, sum insured policy. Coming to the contribution and subrogation, just because he is having multiple policy, that doesn't mean the multiple insurer has to pay only the portion of the liability amount because it's a benefit policy. He cannot limit his liability. Whether he has to contribute anything, generally in a capital sum insured, in a case of death or permanent total disablement or 100% loss, contribution will never come. But there are some add-on covers, free add-on covers there, or we have to pay and get an add-on covers there. What are the other covers? There are some covers like carriage of dead body, there are some covers like Children Education Fund. For that, only one insurance company can settle. Not all the insurance company who are holding this policy can settle equally. Then it becomes multiple benefit. So contribution cannot be applied in all aspects except for certain things where he cannot be allowed to gain from multiple policies, like in case of Children Education Fund or carriage of dead body or something like that. That's the only exemption there. Subrogation never applies. Just because I have settled a claim on a PA for somebody who killed him, I cannot go and recover the money because it's connected to indemnity policy. It's connected to benefit policy. So naturally, we cannot limit ourselves like indemnity. Okay. So basic principles you have to apply on PA policy. So understanding PA policy cover, I told you remote, intervening, proximate cause. So what is the definition of PA policy? It is covered for proximate cause. What is proximate cause? It should be solely directly by an accident. So accident is only covered. Natural death is not covered. Unexpected thing, accident. Okay, it could be self. You would have fell down. Or it could be by a third party. It could be a third party injury or third party damage. Cover. Okay. Must directly and independent of any other cause. Accident means it should result in death. There could be intervening cause. Many causes would have happened. But it should result in death or disablement. That's the definition. So what you have to understand as a logic, when a death occurs, the death may not be straight. For example, accident due to he is falling down from a stairs, from a 4th floor, 5th floor. Clear case of accident because he fell down. So there is no intervening cause. But sometimes some disease would have made him to get into accident, and that accident would have resulted death. Sometimes a disease would have made him to stable and created some accident, and that case his accident would have resulted in death. How to differentiate? Because in a claim there may be two factors. One can promote, one can accident. So whenever a narration comes, you have to find out from the story which has promoted, which has caused the accident. To make you to understand very easily the doctrine of proximate cause, there are three types of case studies. One is accident first occurs, subsequently injury occurs, subsequently picks up the disease, subsequently it gets a death. See here, for example, if you would have read licentiate book or if you would have even associate book, you would have seen. And in a licentiate book, it is mentioned like a story where a person went inside the forest to cut firewood, and while cutting the firewood by climbing over a tree, he is alone, he fell down. When he fell down, he got into multiple injury, and there's a spinal injury. He was not able to stand up. He was lying all along there. So accident has occurred. He fell down from the tree. That is there in the licentiate book. The same story little modified in associate book. He went inside the horse. And he fell down from a horse, and the horse has escaped. He is lying there in the forest ground. He went for hunting, and while he is lying, like the person who fell down from the tree, and he got a multiple fracture, including spinal injury, and he got an injury. He is lying all along on the floor, on the ground, and because day and night he was lying there alone, nobody is there to help him. He picked up a disease because of the cold. He got a viral infection or a bacterial infection. He is not able to respire. He got a pneumonia or he got a bronchitis, and ultimately he died. Whether the claim is payable, even though the disease created a death. Here you see the chain. Accident only made him to get injury. The injury made him to pick up a disease, and the disease, even though followed accident, ultimate cause is only the accident. The death has occurred. So here proximate cause is accident. So the claim is payable. So please understand, there is a continuous chain of event. There is no break in the chain. So the claim is payable. Next case, disease occurred because he is having a disease. Accident has occurred, injury and death. For example, the story what is there in your book, a father has gone to a lake or a pool where his two children are enjoying in the water, and he is enjoying the children, how they are enjoying the water inside, the children are enjoying the water. But the person rarely used to get epilepsy. It means fits. He normally never gets fits. Very rare, very rare. Sometimes you're very much excited, you might get. Or some other trigger if you have got, like blinking tube light, somebody will get fits. If it's a continuous blinking of tube light, somebody get fits. Like that, this person, even though he's earlier prone for fits, he normally never gets fits. But over excitement, because children are enjoying in the water, he suddenly get fits. He is also there next to the children. But because of fits, he is not able to stand. He fell down into the water, drowned into the water, and nobody is there to help. The children, they were not knowing how to help the father. And the accident has occurred, because drowning is an accident, where because of drowning he got injured, he died there, the death has occurred. Here also, even though the disease is first started, it becomes a remote cause. But the death is due to the immediate reason of injury, because the injury has occurred because of drowning, the claim is payable. So here, the proximate cause is injury, accident, and the remote cause is disease. So the claim is payable. So please understand, the first two proximate cause, there is no break in the chain, both are payable. The third category, you come to third category, a person walking on the road and simply just slips, there is a slip, he had a mild fracture. He got admitted in a hospital. In the hospital, he is undergoing treatment for a fracture. And during hospital treatment, unfortunately, his next bite person is having a corona or some other infectious disease. He picked up the disease from the next bed person, and the disease has come to him because of next person, not continuation of the accident. Here, break in the chain. See the yellow mark? Break in the chain. Because of the disease of corona, he died. Not because of accident. There is no continuous chain of reason. So this claim cannot be payable. So this is how you have to understand the logic of proximate cause. And here, which is the proximate cause, which is the remote cause. Here the disease which come in between, that is the intermediate cause. So this is how you have to read for exam if you are a senior. Okay, we will go to the next one. Next one is the risk category. You know very well. PA policy 24/7 cover. It's a worldwide cover. There is no need to take. Even happened while gone abroad. An accident occurred. Automatically the Indian PA policy covers. There is no policy called overseas PA policy. So the automatic Indian PA policy will cover. It's a worldwide cover, 24/7 cover, and age group is normally 5 to 70 years. The age group normally for all the four companies 7 to 80 years. They can continue up to 70 years provided there is no claim based on the loading of premium, but generally 5 to 70 years, up to 80 years can be continued. This category you can go through later, accountants, doctors, here see contractors, engineers. This category 3, you go through persons working in underground mine, explosives, jockeys, circus, hunting, mountaineering, gliding, all these people are coming. Here one thing you have to understand, if a person is involved with hazardous activity, hazardous activity means due to employment. A person who is working in mines, it is hazardous activity due to employment. For him, we can give you a cover under normal PA. But a person intentionally wants to join a sports, a motor sports. Motor sports is a hazardous sports. That is a hazardous sports. That is not an hazardous activity. He is voluntarily involved in hazardous sports. He may get into an accident or may not be get into an accident. In this case, a regular PA policy will not be able to give. We may give a policy specific for that accident during the tournament or during the course of the driving. So there will be a little modification will happen in case of hazardous sports. But generally we will give hazardous activity involved in employment as risk category 3. Okay. So you know the benefits for a total death is 100%. Total PTD is 100%, and you know 2 limbs, this all the classification you can read later. I don't want to go through fully. And here the carriage of dead body 2% of CSI or 2,500, and maximum 10% for education fund. If it's a one child, 5,000. If it's a 2 child, maximum 10,000. But the children age below 23 years is a must. Here already we discussed about modified form of PA policies, that FIC means flight insurance coupon. road safety, JPA, and student safety. These are modified. There are some small changes. These are not common to all 4 companies. See, road safety is not common to all 4 companies. JPA, now changes are occurring. Student safety, now I'm not going in depth. But you must know it's a modified form of PA policy. It's connected to people, those who have taken JPA, restricted sum issue, and it never covers medical expenses. Road safety, only accident in the road, it is not 24 into cover. JPA is a 24 into 7 cover. Like that, you have to differentiate. The FIC, flight insurance coupon, specific travel while board on the flight, and it's only during the time journey of time only it is covered. Once it's come out of the aircraft, the policy is over. It could be a specific policy, it could be a floater policy, because he is always traveling. Every time he cannot take a flight insurance coupon. So we can give a floater policy also. But specific policy covers specific flight. But the journey, once get into the flight and once coming out of the flight, the policy is over. The premium changes to different companies. I don't want to get into that. Generally, if you understand, that is okay. Rajeshwari, it's a modified form of social insurance. And you know, Bhageshwari child welfare policy, it's also modified. How it is modified? Social insurance, normally they will don't go in depth, but they will ask you to pick up which is the social insurance. Rajeshwari Mahila Kalyan Yojana. Here there are 2 types of cover. One is basic cover, one is comprehensive cover. In the basic cover, it covers only death or total disability, permanent total disability. Add-on cover, it covers about, what it covers? Add-on cover, it covers about even your legal expenses, divorce, if a divorce occurs, legal expenses. Then it also takes care of your, in the case of contents, it also takes care of. So you have to read what are add-on covers. If you take only the normal policy, 15 rupees premium. If they take with add-on cover, the policy is only 23 rupees premium. It's just if you go through, that is enough. No in-depth questions will come, but you should know what is the difference between the social insurance and the regular insurance. Okay, Bhageshwari from 0 to 18 years old, it's for the taking care of the girl child, but the father age must be less than 60, more than 60 years father's child, girl child cannot be covered. But it is actually if the father and mother, anyone or both died while the children is growing from 0 to 18 years, the amount will be kept in a consortium, in a fund, and that will be deposited. Then the amount will be released in a different stages of educating the child. Suppose the child dies, the amount will go to the parent, and otherwise, if the child, then nothing happened, by God's grace, the parents are alive, the child is alive, the child has already become 18 years old, the amount what it is already assumed, the amount will be given, 25,000 amount will be given to the child. So this is how this is in practice, but it is not much important, but you must know, especially for the juniors, you must know it's a social insurance. So I will break here for tea, just maximum 10 minutes. But now the time is 11:33. I will come exactly after 10 minutes, or before 10 minutes also I will be there, but I will be expecting you all to come back within 10 minutes. We will complete the PA policy with the most important PA policy that is recently introduced by IRDA, because this is very common for all 4 companies. The examiners might be interested to know how best you are keeping abreast of the latest changes as per IRDA regulations. So a PA policy by government also you should know. A PA policy, a common PA policy introduced by IRDA also you must know. That we will discuss after tea break. Now, shall we break for tea? Can anyone answer? Shall we break for tea?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Shall we continue?
Yes, sir. Can start.
I'm not able to see the participant. I think I can continue. No problem.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So before tea break, we were just discussing about the regular PA policy, and wherein I was making you to recall exactly getting the subject. I want you to refresh your knowledge. What all you know about that? Almost I have explained everything. For example, it could be modified as a social policies, or it could be a different policy like flight insurance coupon or student safety, on duty, off duty. Normally on duty cover, they'll be charging 70% the normal premium. I don't want to discuss about the premium rating because premium rating differs to different company, all the four company. But you should understand the commonality between all the four companies in the case of coverage of risk. So we can give also limited policies like on duty, off duty. On duty 75% of the normal premium, and off duty, that is not connected to employment. He is at his own risk. So the premium will be 50% of the normal premium. Then I told you about the war risk. See, war risk normally not covered. It comes under general exclusion in almost all policies. But there are two policies. There is an exemption under that. War risk can be covered under PA policy, as well as war risk can be covered under marine policy. So marine faculty would be teaching you about that. Bearing we can give war risk. But as far as PA policy is concerned, war risk is covered only for civilians, those who are on duty in other country. It cannot be given the person who was involved in war. For example, Jawan, military, we cannot cover war risk. We can cover a civilian on duty in another country, where in normal period, peaceful period, the premium will be only about 50% more, that is 150% of the normal premium. Suddenly war has come, the civilian is there, he wants to take a policy, we can give the cover. It's a apprehensive period where likelihood of war has come, not during the war. In that case, we can give 150% loading, that is maximum 250% of the regular premium. So war risk can be also covered. I already told you about certain things. Medical expenses, it is actually a compensation. It's an add-on cover. If they pay, they can get. How much are medical expenses? All these things, you don't break your head because it differs to different company. But regularly, what we'll do, we'll discuss now. Then coming under your technical breach. What is technical breach? See, for example, accident, I told you, if it has provoked, if the accident occurs, it becomes illegal. Naturally, we cannot give PA cover for that compensation. We cannot give it. As I'm get killed when I provoked somebody. I triggered the problem. So even though I'm owning a PA policy, claim will not be settled because it is illegal. But unexpectedly I got killed means, I'm an innocent. Unexpectedly I got killed means that would be paid. For example, some other time I got killed, some other fighting is happening, I'm an innocent, I'm no involved, unfortunately I got killed means it's payable. Or by an animal attack like elephant attack, I got paid. No problem. What is technical breach? See, it's not connected to any illegal matter. It cannot be considered as illegal or legal, but it is something connected to technical. For example, I told you a person who is trying to cross a signal. In that case, he is actually not waiting, not having enough patience to wait for a green signal. Suddenly, before green signal comes, he crosses. While crossing, the green signal comes and all other vehicles also coming. It's happening every day. Like you would also notice in your day-to-day life. He got killed because of some accident, unexpected accident. So we cannot deny our liability because it is not considered as illegal. It is considered as a technical breach. So we should understand what is technical breach. Coming under self-inflicting injury, causing injury to ourselves to make a claim. That is not at all payable because it's coming under something against legal norms. But sometimes we have to create self-inflicted injury to save ourselves. For example, there is a fire in a building. There are 4 stories of the building. In the 4th floor, the person who's got insured is there, and he cannot come down because the lift area is already burning. There is no pathway to escape, so he has no other way. For example, 3rd floor, or 2nd floor, you keep it. Don't go to 4th floor. 2nd floor. Suppose for 2nd floor, he is trying to jump from 2nd floor, so that to save his life because there is no other way to escape. In the process, he got injured. fractures has occurred and something happened, and that is can be given because he is trying to save his life. It comes under loss minimization. It is not something intentional, so that claim can be paid. This is how you have to interpret self-inflicting injury. I have already explained to you what is homicide, what is manslaughter and other thing. So we will push it on other slides now. Okay, then we will go to the other slides. So coming to IRDA, you know very well. They have been asking all the companies, including the private company, apart from our core company, to have a standardization of some policies like health, PA, and some policies in fire, some householders policies like small policies like in fire, building, they kept it. So that there will be a commonality between the four companies, all the general insurance companies. So IRD has come out with some standard guidelines for personal accident policy. What is the standard guideline? Here, we are not going on gainful employment. There we have got a thumb rule according to gainful employment based on the salary or gainful employment, or if he's a non-salaried person but he is paying income tax because of his business, we go with income tax statement. But here we cannot go a commonality between all four companies because the subject matter may be different. Different people will issue different time. But there could be a commonality in the matter of insurance. That's why they created a common sum insurance for a common PA policy. A new guidelines has been given. Minimum sum insured shall be 2.5 lakhs. Maximum sum insured be 1 crore. This is only for IRDA standardized policy. Individual companies can have any number of, even I have seen 2 crore, 3 crore policy from private companies. But if you want to give a common policy as per IRDA norms, the minimum 2.5 lakhs, maximum 1 crore, it could be the multiplication of 50,000 like that. For example, 25 lakhs means it could be 2.5 lakhs means it can be 3 lakhs or 3.5 lakhs. Like multiplication of 50,000 up to a maximum of 1 crore. Here what is interesting, you must know whether premium can be paid on installments. See, when I talk about installments, if you start relaxing, what is installment? Premium is not paid in full, annual premium. It is paid in bits. That's paid. It could be quarterly, it could be half-yearly, it could be monthly, or it could be annually. So whether it's allowed in general insurance, normally your installment premium is allowed only in non-life insurance, life insurance like LIC. But a non-life insurance, normally we will pay premium, 1 year premium only. We will not pay on installments because normally full cover, otherwise it will be considered as a 64, 5B, that 5 is a Roman letter, we normally say VV, it is a 5 is a Roman letter, so it's a 64 5B violation we say in a general insurance. But there are 2 exemptions. Under general insurance, premium can be paid on installments in case of personal policies like personal accident as well as health insurance. It could be paid, it can be paid. And normally we are not doing it. But I have seen when I was working as a division manager, branch manager, my competitors used to get monthly premium. But we used to pay in our company only annual premium. Because there is a provision in Insurance Act for these policies like PA policy and health insurance, you can get installments. So that is IRDA given. Installments you can get. It could be monthly, quarterly, half-yearly or yearly. So accordingly they wanted us to design the policy, commonality between all the 4 companies. You must understand. So here if you get on installments, for annual policy the grace period is fixed 30 days. Grace period means second premium, renewal premium to be paid, the time taken for the renewal premium if there is a gap. During the grace period anything occurs we can pay. It's not like health insurance, okay, that you have to understand. And in case of installments, what is the grace period? In installments the grace period is only 15 days. Suppose you started paying premium in monthly, quarterly or half-yearly, the grace period is given only 15 days. For annual premium only the grace period is given 30 days. Here you should also understand, installment premium apart from miscellaneous policy under PA and health, is there any other policy we can pay installment premium? Yes. In engineering policy, project policies are installment premium only. You are just correlating, even though it is not connected to miscellaneous policy. Why I am telling these things to you, my dear friends? Because you are subjected to all 4 subjects. You are not going to write only miscellaneous for exam. You are going to write fire also, engineering also. So you should correlate, otherwise the subject matter what you are learning in miscellaneous may confuse with you subject matter connected to some other line of business. Now if you are clear, yeah, installment premium is possible in insurance industry, in engineering, project, as well as in miscellaneous, then there will not be any confusion. That's how you have to read for exam. Okay. The age group, even though standard PA policy covers 5 to 70 years plus 80 years, here 18 years onwards you can go 70 years or maximum 80 years also they are given. Children, dependent children can be covered 3 months to 25 years. They are 25 years given. So that is dependent, as long as they are dependent, that can be covered. So here, to give this policy as per the design given by IRDA, you need not get file and approval every time. Suppose you are in New India, you are in United India, or whatever company. If you want to advertise or you want to sell this IRDA guided policy, you need not get every time file and use. But you may be having a product approval committee, that is called product management committee within your organization. If you get approved according to the guidelines of the IRDA, that is enough. The product can be sold from April 2021. We already crossed more than 4 to 5 years. But still, how many of us are selling, I do not know. But it is common to all companies, including private company. Question might come. That's why I told. But not only this, IRDA has come out with one more policy, namely Saral Suraksha Bima. Questions came in the previous exams. So Saral Suraksha Bima, what way is different from IRDA regular guidelines? What way it is different from your normal standard PA policy? That's you have to know. See, it's a basic cover. It takes care of death, PTD and PPD like our regular policies. What is PPD? Permanent partial disability. It is not temporary partial disability. So permanent partial disability comes under basic cover. But if you want TTD, temporary total disability, not temporary partial disability. In temporary total disability can be opted for optional cover. What is temporary total disability? Difference between temporary total disability and temporary partial disability. Temporary total disability, somebody is met with an accident, a small fracture. He cannot walk because he has to bedridden for a few weeks. After that he has to try to walk with a walker. Then he can walk after that once the bones are joining. That's called temporary total disability. Suppose there is a small injury in the foot. There is only one small finger got injured, a toe got injured. But he can do his work, only there will be a small injury. That is called temporary partial disability. That is not talked here. Here the optional cover talks about temporary total disability. Under temporary total disability, what is the compensation? It is not like our standard policy. Standard policy, what it says, maximum 100 weeks, maximum 3,000 rupees or 5,000, depends upon the policy. That's all I don't want to go because it differs to different company. But 1% of the sum insured, maximum of 100% of sum insured. That is a compensation given under temporary total disability under standard cover. But here, IRDA has come out with a policy, Saral Suraksha Rakshana, where here the rate of 0.2% of the base sum insured per week is given. That you should know for examination point of view. Under total disability. But here one more condition. That condition must exit more than 4 weeks. In a standard policy, we will give from first day onwards. But Saral Suraksha Bima says if you want to get to that compensation, your eligibility starts only it exceeds 4 weeks. That means you should be there, bedridden, not able to pursue his normal duty routine. More than 4 weeks only, the compensation can be effective, 0.2%. That you should know. Once it started, it can go up to 100 weeks. But it must be certified once the disability forms temporary total disability comes. He should obtain a medical practitioner certificate within 30 days of accident. And this amount will not be paid every week, because every week if you started paying, people will try to be happy by getting your money. They will not try to show that they are recovered. They simply say, still I am not able to do any work, I want to bid. So to avoid all kind of this misusing of insurance money, this amount will be paid quarterly or end of the disability period only. Though it's called weekly compensation, it is not paid weekly. Please understand, that is an important point. Certification must be obtained within 30 days of the accident, and 4 weeks minimum disability period is required to get eligibility under 0.2% basic sum insured per week. Medical certificate is into, amount is paid quarterly and not every week. That's what you have to know. So under this, you see, there is add-on cover. Basic cover is okay. Add-on cover A is TTD. Add-on cover B, If you want hospitalization expenses, medical expenses, that can be also added up to the limit of 10% base sum insured. It is clearly mentioned. It is not like there 1% sum insured in a regular policy. Up to 10% of base sum insured, limit of 24 hours. You must have been admitted not less than 24 hours. And there is no sublimit for Ayush or ICU or like that, whatever actual cost, including if anything due to dental treatment, plastic surgery because of accident. He has to change because there is a damage to the maxilla or mandible, mouth. He is undergoing treatment, medical expenses. Everything is paid and plastic surgery is paid. Cost will be paid. Even ambulance expenses 2,000 will be paid if he has opted for this cover under section B, that is hospital's expense. Education grant. Education grant is almost like a standard policy, 10% per child. There, 10% per child but not exceeding 5,000 or 10,000. Here they have mentioned education grant 10%, but not more than 25 years of completed years. So that's what you have to know. Like the other policy, the cumulative bonus is there. If he is not making any claim, up to 50% of his sum insured is going on added. So today I have taken 1 lakh. I have not made any claim for more than 5 years. My sum insured will be automatically increased because the cumulative bonus is there in a standard policy. Here also the cumulative bonus is there like a standard policy, but maximum of 50% only. That's you have to know. So PA policy is over. I have completed almost everything. If you have got any doubt, you just keep it in your mind. We will discuss later. We will go to burglary insurance now. Under burglary, I want you to relax and think about what all you know about burglary insurance. What is burglary? What is related risk? We already discussed. A burglary is a common word. Under burglary, a loss can occur in a different form. It could be a larceny, it could be a theft, it could be a pilferage, it could be a robbery, it could be a dacoity. But what you have to understand, whether burglary is covered under insurance policy. See, burglary as it is not covered under insurance policy. A form of burglary is covered under insurance policy. That's what you have to know. What is the form of burglary? The form could be like I told you. It could be a larceny, it could be a theft, it could be a pilferage if it is there in the policy, or it could be a robbery, it could be a dacoity. But how it is interpreted in insurance? Insurance is interpreted in case of burglary, even though there is no definite word or definition about burglary directly in the insurance policy. The definition goes along with the Indian Penal Act. That is a section that IPC we say, no? Indian Penal IPC condition we go. The Indian Penal Code describes a different way of burglary. It is not says burglary, it says house trespassing and it says house breaking. So the sections are made into 442, 445, 3785 and more. What is 442? 442, even though it is not called burglary under Indian Penal Code, it is called house trespassing. And 445 is house breaking and 378 is theft. So if it is theft, automatically is covered if it is covered under our subject matter in the policy. For example, it is covered under householders policy, but it is not covered under shopkeepers if the add-on cover is not taken. It's very clear. So theft is covered in which animal, which are not animal, all we have discussed already. So you while reading, after completion of all your reading, you should sit and relax and correlate all these things later. Here I will sit on to the subject matter. So 442, whether it is covered under our burglary policy, house trespassing, it is not covered because there is no visible, forcible means. What is house trespassing? You would have heard about the children when the owner is not there in the house. The house is locked. He has gone to his native place. But the house has got a small garden. In the garden there is a mango tree. The children, what they are doing, they are jumping inside the wall, getting inside the house, going to the garden, plugging some mangoes and again jumping out and coming out of the house. So this is called house trespassing. So he has not caused any visible damage, but there is no visible damage, simply getting trespassing which is not legal, which is not correct, simply going and taking something from the home. Not major cause, but some trespassing. So this is called house trespassing under section 442. It is not covered under our regular burglary policy. House breaking. What has happened? He is trying to enter into the house by many means and taking away a movable property. That's what you have to know. How he is breaking? It could be 6 means. It can create a hole. It need not be a house. It can be a commercial complex. It can be a house, shop. I want to steal, take away all the mobiles. By creating a hole from the back side, I am crawling in, getting inside the office, shop, taking away all the expensive mobile, taking away all the jewelry from the jewelry shop. If he created a hole, gets inside the shop, even though it's not called burglary, it's called housebreaking under 445. Since there is no word in Indian Penal Code as burglary, this is similar to burglary because there is a visible means, there is a damage, visible damage, and force applied to break, make a hole. So automatically this is covered under burglary. What is covered? House breaking is covered. By any 6 means, if it is done, it is considered as burglary. What are the 6 means? Creating a hole and jumping out of the wall, jumping inside the wall, going inside, taking something and giving through the wall to the other side and taking away the movable property, main property. That is also considered as housebreaking because he has got inside the home, took away a TV, took away something expensive or took away a jewel or something, and he's again jumped inside. So that is also causing damage to the home. So wall. Window. Sometimes what they will do, they will put a stick inside the window. They will take away through the window cloths, dress material and everything. That is also called housebreaking, even though there is no visible damage. But it is considered as housebreaking under Indian Penal Code. Even though there is no visible damage, whatever comes under 445, that will be considered under burglary. You cannot talk about your definition. Whatever considered as 445, that should be considered as burglary. Lock. Damaging the lock, opening the lock, coming inside. That is automatically covered under burglary. Attack. It is not only burglary, it is assault. It is attacking the watchman or attacking the owner, coming inside, threatening with a knife and taking away the property. That is automatically considered under our burglary. And this is also comes under 445. Then gate. Some home or some premises, only one gate will be used. Other gate backside or side way gate may not be used, but the gate will be fastened for many years. But this culprit knows he can enter the house through that gate by damaging the gate, by breaking open the old rusted lock. So he is not coming under direct way like a direct door, main door or main gate. He is come under some other gate which is totally closed for many years. So he is fastened door and he is unfastening it and coming enter. So he carry out taking away the property, but any 6 means, description I given here, I don't want to read it again, I already explained to you. This comes under 445, or those comes under 445 under Indian Penal Code that should be considered as housebreaking. We cannot argue there is no visible damage because he jumped inside the wall, took away all the property, again jumped over the wall and left. If it is registered in FIR as 445, that should be considered as housebreaking. Okay, but house trespassing 442 is not covered. So what are the subject matter of burglary insurance? You know very well. Cash, stock, furniture fitting, machinery, contents of business and resident premises. Burglary policy normally issued for commercial purpose as well as residential purpose. So damage caused to the premises, whether covered. See, I got a house and I went outside for a family tour. Somebody got inside, damaged the door. That house is not my house, I am in a rented house. The door is a teakwood door. Somebody has broke open the lock. By breaking open the lock, they damaged the teakwood door also. They came inside, took away my property. If I have taken contents covered in my burglary insurance or my householder's insurance, it is automatically covered. But the building is not covered because building is not mine. I don't have an insurance interest. It is I am a tenant only. Whether I am liable to the owner, it's called tenant liability. Whether tenant liability is covered under burglary policy? Yes, tenant liability to the extent of damage, not to replace the entire teakwood door. The damage, repair cost of the damage can be received from the insurance burglary policy. So tenant liability is automatic include cover to the extent of some insured, but actual cost to repair it, not to change the entire property. Just because teak wood, I don't want a damaged wood, I want a full new teak wood means that's possible. Only the actual repair cost can be reimbursed. That's what there in our 4 company. Private company is different. Private company, they have mentioned about percentage of sum insured. Here we have not mentioned about private sum insured. We have actual expenses to incur to repair the damage, not the entire replacement. That's there. So when you think of tenant liability, whether it's covered in all burglary policy, that's what you have to read for exam. Simply you should not skip the slide. See, tenant liability, first of all, you have come to know that tenant liability is covered even though there is no insurance for the building. I am not the owner, but tenant liability is inbuilt cover. Because I am liable, so that is taken care by my burglary policy, even though there is no insurable interest, there is an exemption. But tenant liability is covered in any other policy? Yes, it is covered in doctor's policy. You know, there is one comprehensive policy, like we have a comprehensive policy for stores and other thing, you know. So doctors taken a comprehensive policy, doctor's policy for covering his building, covering his hospital, covering his infrastructure, covering professional liability. So that's a comprehensive policy. If it is there, automatically the building is not his own. He may be rented out a clinic or rented out a hospital. So that comes under tenant liability policy. So that you must know. So tenant liability is there in doctor's policy. Tenant liability is there in a regular burglary policy. But there is one more burglary policy is called first class policy is there. First class policy where we never insure for the full sum insured. We insure only for the maximum probable loss. In that case, suppose the contents only insured, even though it's coming under burglary policy, first class policy cannot insure tenant liability. So you must differentiate while reading tenant liability, where it is covered, where it is not covered. Not only understanding tenant liability, it also to know that whether it is covered in all policies or there is an exemption. Okay, now we'll go to the types of policy, commercial, private. And a commercial, I already told you, full value policy is there, floated declaration policy is there, first class policy is there, valued policy is there. This case of commercial. Private building, I want to insure my valuables, I want to insure my building, I can only take fire policy, I want only burglary policy. I don't want to take fire policy or any other policy. Means you can take only burglary policy, but there is some limitations. What is that? First we will finish off commercial. Under commercial, you got a full value policy. You know you have stocked something in your godown and the value is stable. It is not going on fluctuating. So the real value should be insured as sum insured. Profit should not be added. See, in a marine policy what we do? We add extra 10%. But here you cannot add extra 10%. Profit is not allowed at a full policy. Only the actual sum insured without profit is taken as a sum insured. So full value. But for that contents which is not having a fluctuating value, constant value, stable value. So in case sometimes you have taken only a full value policy without showing profit, only the exact value. But suddenly there is a change because you have taken some of the property or you have added some more property. You want some temporary endorsement. Yes, you can take an endorsement if there is any change in the sum insured. That is done in way of endorsement. That is not automatic in case of full value policy. Under full value policy, there is non-declaration and declaration. What all I discussed with you is connected to non-declaration. In case of full value policy, you are expected to give for full value, but you are not keeping in one place and you are not keeping in the item which has got a stable value. The value will be fluctuating. So what you have to do, you have to give the total value, the fluctuating value or general estimate and maximum value how much it will go. You give a declaration and for that you will take a policy whether you are utilizing the policy or not. Suppose you utilized more than 50% of the policy amount, no retention will be made. Suppose if you are not issued, but you made the insurance company to issue a declaration policy because you are stocking a policy which has got a fluctuating value and you agreed to a declaration. In that case, you don't want to continue the policy means 50% of the sum insured amount you have paid as a premium will be retained. So you cannot get back the full amount or pro rata basis. You will be expected to accept retention of 50%. You are expected to give declaration every time. When the value changes, the value may be lower, the value may be medium, the value may be higher. Suppose you missed to give declaration 1 month Because every monthly declaration you are supposed to give, because you are stocking contents which has got a fluctuating value in the same godown. It is not multiple godown. Okay. So, but value is fluctuating. But you missed it. So in that case, how the insurance going to take up? Preceding 30 days, what is the highest value that will be taken? That will be taken for our valuation, and how much you are utilized. Balance we will see whether you utilize more than 50% of your premium. If it is okay, you will go with the refund because it's a declaration policy. If it is not utilized even 50%, there what we will do? The maximum preceding 30 years value will be taken, highest value. Accordingly, our liability will be worked out, and if it is less than 50%, 50% summation will be taken and the balance only will be settled. So that is what you have to know under full value policy. Floater declaration policy. It is more than one location where the subject matter is the same, but subject matter not different. But sum insured only different. For example, in one place, one godown A, the sum insured is maybe 50,000 rupees. Another godown sum insured may be 1 lakh, but subject matter is same. But if the overall sum insured about multiple location, for example, A, B, C, D, the total sum insured, you can take a floater policy. And it should be with the same zone. You cannot insure out of the zone. So same location, but multiple stock, but same subject matter in a multiple godown, same location. Sum insured is common put together. For that you can give a floater declaration. Here also you are expected to give declaration regularly. Okay. Then coming to first class, I already told you. First class policy is based on maximum probable loss. That means I have stored bulk commodity like sulfate, I have some minerals, or I have a big machinery which cannot be taken by any culprit and which cannot be totally stolen. Even if they steal, they will take only small amount. For example, a big showroom of fridges, refrigerators. If a person comes and wants to take a refrigerator, night he comes in a lorry, maximum you can take only 20% or 30% of the refrigerator, not all the contents of the showroom. So the insured what he feels, ultimate loss of total loss will not occur, sir, because everything cannot be stolen. Because only a small quantity can be stolen. So why should I pay premium for the entire value? So the possibility of things that being stolen only I can take. So I will go for limited amount of sum insured so that my amount of premium will be less. So we will give you a policy called first loss. That's a maximum probable loss that could be taken from that value. But what is the condition? Minimum 25% of the total value he has to take. For example, it is 1 crore means he cannot take only for 5 crore. But the minimum value must be definitely minimum 25% or more, it should not be less. For example, 1 crore property of a place where he wants to take only first class policies, we will be taking only 25 lakhs. We will not be taking for less than 25 lakhs because it's not allowed. That condition you must know in a first class. It is mainly given for bulk commodity, you must know. But what is more interesting in a burglary policy, if somebody is declaring something, he is expected to declare the full value. For example, you want to insure the content of fireworks in a godown during Diwali season. The fireworks is 1 crore. There is unexpected breakage of lock. Somebody has taken the firecrackers from the godown. There is a burglary happened. And at the time of loss, the surveyor found out the stock value is not 1 crore, the stock value is 1.5 crore. So ultimately it comes under insurance. So the pro rata, what we say, pro rata average, the portion for which he has not insured, accordingly applied, only the claim will be settled accordingly, not the full amount of loss. We take it, instead of taking for 1.5 crore, you have taken only 1 crore. So for the 50 lakhs, what it is extra, that you have agreed to be an insurer. So that one part of that portion you have not taken insurance properly. So in your claim also, that part of the portion which you have not paid premium will be deducted. So we will not pay the full amount of loss, we will reduce it because of under insurance. But here, if you go to first class policy, you are technically allowing the insured to take under insurance. Even though 100% of the value cannot be taken, you are technically allowing to reduce to value, that is minimum 25%. Suppose tomorrow a claim occurs. This fellow not told you exactly, he has not taken exactly 25%. He knows very well the loss may not be big, but as per the policy condition, he has not taken for 25% of 1 crore total loss. He has taken only intentionally for less amount because he does not want to pay the premium. If the surveyor find out In a first class policy, there is an underinsurance, whether this pro rata average can be applied. This is more important. Pro rata average cannot be applied because there is no underinsurance class in first class. Then how we are going to penalize the client? Here what we will do, the portion for which he neglected, not paid, we told him to pay not less than 25%, but he took only for 20%, 5% he dodged, he has not told the truth. So that portion of the premium is not paid, but there is an underinsurance. But our policy, first class policy says there is no underinsurance. When there is no underinsurance, can we apply underinsurance? We cannot apply. So what we have done, because we allow him to do underinsurance, we change the nomenclature of pro rata as pro rata average, the pro rata average as partial average. It is not called pro rata average. What is called in normal burglary insurance pro rata average, but it is not called as pro rata average in first class policy. It is called partial average because we are allowed him to insure partially. Under partial insurance, this fellow has dodged something, so the application of average will be partial only. That's called partial average. So please understand, partial average word is applicable only to first class policy. Pro rata average is applicable to burglary policy. Okay. So you know all the burglary policy generally goes with the agreed amount. See, you have declared the value, correct value. Accordingly, we will agree. If he has not declared, only we will apply under insurance. But sometimes, under burglary policy, somebody will come. Sir, I want to insure. I will declare the value, but my value may not be the same. My value will be going on changing. Today the value may be less, tomorrow may go up. Today the value may be more, tomorrow the value go up. But I don't want this problem in my insurance. I want a policy called valued policy. All my item, please value using a valuer. Create an inventory and you make the value correct value. And tomorrow, if any claim comes, exact value, how much of depreciation, that only you apply. You should not say under insurance, and you should pay only the exact amount of loss what I have incurred, pure indemnity. In that case, I don't want a regular burglary policy. I want only a valued policy where an inventory and valuation is done. At the time of claim, exact value as per the depreciation and appreciation. If it is appreciation, you have to give more. If it is depreciation, you can give less. I will agree, but it's a pure indemnity value. If they are agreeing, that kind of value policy also can be given, but it is based on pure indemnity. That's called valued policy. Okay, it's all connected to commercial. In case of private only, we insure the contents, but what these people will do, the house owners, because if they go for a all risk policy, the premium is more. Why should I pay my jewellery under all risk? I have to pay 1% of jewellery value. If my jewellery more than 1 crore, so much of premium I have to pay to the insurance company. So I don't want that 1% of premium policy like all risk policy. I'll simply go with the burglary policy. Premium is very less. And if any claim comes, insurance company will give. So they will try to misuse the liability part of the insurance company. We don't want them to misuse by not telling the valuables or jewellery items, avoiding them to take all risk policy where they only want to take a burglary policy but to reduce the cost of insurance. So we have incorporated a clause. That clause is called 1/3 of upper limit in case of valuables, and single article limit should not exceed more than 5% of the total sum insured. Suppose I have insured jewellery under burglary. The burglary value, the jewellery part, contents may be more normal. Furniture, fitting and jewellery, everything is there as a content. But jewellery value alone should not exceed more than 1/3. Because only jewellery, otherwise they will take burglary policy. We will not allow them to take only for jewellery. Jewellery, if the part of the content we will allow, but that amount should not exceed more than 1/3 of the upper limit. And individual value of the jewellery, for example, hanging or ring or chain, that value also should not exceed more than 5% of the sum insured. If it is very expensive, he cannot insure under a diamond ring. It is more than 5%, the diamond ring, but it will not come under a regular private dwelling. So naturally he has to go for jewellery policy, all risk policy only he has to go. So we don't want to encourage him to misuse some insurance. We have created this, incorporated this upper limit and single article limit. Please understand, this will be there in all parts of burglary, even other parts policies what we are going to discuss soon. Everywhere this applies. And private dwelling and commercial, what is the difference? Commercial and annual policies, every year it must be removed. Private dwelling, you can go for a long-term policies because it could have been financed by bank. So bank doesn't want to insure every year. They want a long-term policy. You can think of long-term policy for private dwelling, wherein maximum of 3 years can be covered under private dwelling. Okay. So burglary, I already finished. It must be a felonious entry, violent, forcible means. I told you what is theft, what is robbery, what is dacoity, what is larceny. Shoplifting is nothing but, you would have heard about that. Some ladies will go to the shop, some sari shop, they will unknowingly, without the knowledge of the owner, simply they will take away some sari, they are tucking inside the stomach, they will come out. Only the video camera can find out, otherwise nobody knows whether they have taken the sari or they can keep inside the bag where they took inside. So this is called shoplifting. There is no visible damage, they have taken it. So this we are covered, we never cover shoplifting. Pilferage whether we cover only in case of careless legality policy, we never cover in any other thing. Larceny whether we cover only in householders policy, not in any of the cover. Dacoity, robbery, theft are automatically there in burglary policy, but theft is not automatic in all policy. Some policies is add-on cover. That's what you have to know. So 442 is trespassing, 445 housebreaking, 378 section Indian Penal Code. So that is actually theft. 3890 it is actually robbery. 391 it is dacoity. Robbery connected to assault. 391 connected to assault and damage by more than 5%. So in a burglary policy, RSMT extra, you know what is RSMT, riot strike, malicious damage and terrorism, extra premium. If you want, you can opt for an extra add-on cover like 10% debris removal. Debris removal means after the burglary attempt, there will be a lot of damage item will be there. To remove that, the cost of expenses can be given also under with the claim. When the claim is admitted, that is 10% debris removal. Then the crime settlement is vested with the insurer. Please understand. That doesn't mean insurer has to pay the exact amount. The insurer has got the right to decide what kind of settlement they have to carry out in case of burglary claim. That is called 3R. R. The insurer, they themselves can come and repair. They will not give the money to the compensation money to the insured. They will say, we will send a person, we will repair it. They can do, but practically we are not doing it. But technically we can repair, that is there in the burglary insurance clause. Reinstate, that also we can do without making, after spending the amount, if it's a reasonable amount, we can reinstate, or we can even replace. We can say, okay, they can also replace, we can also replace the exact item that is stolen. That powers is vested. Practically, whether we are doing it or that's different. Normally, we are allowing the customer to do and we are replacing, compensating the reasonable cost. So, full value, but under burglary insurance, only full value taken, no profit is taken, like marine, 10%. Non-declaration policy, already discussed, stable, and only when changes occur, we will pass an endorsement. Declaration policy, missed to give a declaration, higher value of stock preceding 30 days. If you omits declaration, 50% retention is always there. Floating policy, single sum insured, multiple location, identical subject, and the value can be floating, but overall sum insured must be same. Sum insured cannot be floating for the overall sum insured. First class, I already told you, partial value policy. Modified average class, it is given for bulk commodity, which is easily cannot be taken. Commodity like machinery, like that. Okay, so minimum they should take 25%. Burglary private dwelling, already I have discussed. Reinstatement of sum insured is also possible under burglary policy. So you all know that. So important exclusion, I don't want to read it. General exclusion only, war, nuclear. Key, this you must know under burglary. By using unauthorized keys, see, suppose the key is carelessly kept outside. Somebody has taken happily the key, opening the lock, coming inside, taking away, again locking back, keeping the key outside in the footmat, below the footmat. So that is not payable under our policy because key clause is an automatic clause in burglary. Even by extra premium, this cannot be deleted. It's more important. Key clause cannot be deleted. But how do we represent key clause? How do we analyze? Suppose the key is taken by forcible means. It is kept in an alamari. The person came inside, opened the key rack, damaged the rack, took away the duplicate key, and he did the burglary means it is payable. But just simply keeping the key carelessly and somebody is voluntarily taken and that is not payable under key class. That's what you have to know. Then anything happened by his own people, my own family member has taken. You would have seen many cases. The husband don't want to tell his wife. He himself will make his servant to take away his money from this almari. Tomorrow he will lodge a claim to make an insurance claim. So his own insured his family members, his employees, if they have done, it is not payable. Only third party involvement only payable. Consequential loss. Any consequential loss because they have taken and they have sold to the buyer. The buyer come across some other problem under police investigation, nothing is payable. So anything recovered by other policy, suppose it could be recovered by multiple policies or some other policies. Any recovery, for example, a damage to plate glass, burglary cannot settle the claim. A burglary policy is taken for household content. A fire has damage, that cannot be settled under burglary policy, only under fire policy. So anything recovered under fire policy cannot be given, even though it has occurred during the course or the attempt to burglary it has occurred, that's not payable. So only literally it should be a taking away a movable property, and if there is a damage within the premises which is insured under other policies cannot be taken. For example, a person trying to come inside a home, he is breaking open the window, the glass is broken, he is tilted the grill, he came inside, took away the contents of the insured and jumped out of the window, went away. So whether it's payable, here the window, the damage to window is payable, but the glass amount will not be payable because plate glass, the glass, fixed glass is covered under only plate glass insurance. If it is not opted for the cover, the glass amount will not be payable. Only the amount of repairing the window, other thing will be paid. Glass, there is a possibility of insuring under a different subject matter. That is why it says anything by specifically insured. For example, here you mentioned caused by aggravated consequential loss recoverable under other policies. He has insured or not, that is different. When it is a possibility of recovery, he should have insured it. So that will not be payable. So fire, damage due to fire, damage due to class, if it is covered under other policies, not by burglary policy, provided he has covered under, if it is covered under fire, householders policy, where he has taken plate glass also. He has declared the value of the glasses also with the windows, that is automatically covered. But he has not taken any other plate glass. Only plate glass damage, a teapot damage while attempt to burglary, that is not payable under burglary policy. Okay, material alteration not payable. So it's common. I don't want to repeat it again in every policy. You know very well, underwriting consideration. House is very in a remote place where the burglar can come easily. The risk is more, normally you will avoid. Security, always 24/7 security is there. Nearby lot of burglary is there. People are moving here and there always. So if security is safe, you will insure. But the person who is trying to take a burglary policy is not a good moral hazard. He often makes claim that we will look into that, whether we will give or not. So previous claim history. If it is something connected to a part of burglary policy like FG and other thing, and either is maintaining proper accounts, for example, banker's blanket policy, or for example, jeweler's block policy, where the accounting system is perfectly maintained. All these things are underwriting consideration. Place of storage, whether they have any alarm, suppose they have a fixed alarm, they have a camera, and any risk is taken care by loss minimization, we will reduce the premium from a normal premium. When the risk is more, whether we avoid the risk or we will increase the load. This is what you have to know. Coming under money policy, just relax, understand what all you know about money policy. Money policy, earlier it was called money transit insurance. Nowadays it is not called money in transit insurance, because money policy doesn't cover only in transit. Money policy also covers money kept in the Albera, kept in safe and locker. So how can it be called money in transit? That's why we removed the money in transit word, we made money policy. Under money policy, if you recall all your knowledge, you will recall the subject matter of insurance, what all it is covered. It is covered. What all it is covered? Cash, demand draft, checks, postal order. Even postal order is covered, because postal order is also considered as a money orders, current postal orders, current stamps also covered. This question came for the juniors. Whether postal stamps are covered under money policy. Yes, it's covered. So postal orders, all this comes under subject matter. So if you recall, you know. Under section 1 and section 2, if you recall, you know, section 1 takes care of only money in transit. That is moving. And money, section 2 takes care of cash in safe. Money 1, section 1 takes care of premium accordingly, cash, that is per mille. Every 1,000 we charge premium. Based on the total transaction. Why do we fix total transaction? Even though we settle the claim per carrying limit, because per carrying limit he should not underinsure. If he knows what maximum carrying limit 5 lakhs every time, how many times you will be carrying for a year? Multiplied by that, so total summation we know. When your total summation we know, exactly we know per carrying limit, so that he cannot cheat the insurance company. That is why, because it is a provisional policy. There is no underinsurance applied. So tomorrow, even if he cheats, you cannot penalize the client. So that is why we are very clear to him. Please insure the correct amount of per carrying limit. So per carrying limit premium is based on per mille. That is every 1,000. Section 2, it is there in the shape locker. So we go for percent. So that is what the difference. So what are covered? What is the ratio? What is the rating factor? What are the add-on cover? This all you have to recall. See, I already told you. Per mille, and other thing is a provisional policy is based on the per carrying limit, but we want to have the premium on annual adjustment. If there is, he has not achieved the total transaction, we may refund the premium. If he exceeded the total transaction, we may increase the premium. But every claim we cannot go on because it's not underinsured, but we should ensure that he has taken adequate amount. That's why we say correctly mention per carrying limit. In case he has taken a regular per carrying limit, but unfortunately on Diwali he want to increase more amount because that particular month he has to pay more salary to the employee. He can come to the insurance company, he can tell us at this time the per carrying limit is not 5 lakhs, the per carrying limit may be 10 lakhs because I have to give bonus to my employees, so you have to pass an endorsement. So he safely is covered by using an endorsement for that month. That is allowed. But every month is he likely to change, differ. The per carrying limit, that will be a problem because the total transaction will not match. So that is why we are given the provisions. Okay. Then you now know what is covered, what are the different sections, and we will learn about section 1 and we will learn about section 2. And we will, under section 1, what all cover? Misfortune. The money is lost while on transit. What are the peril covered? Misfortune, dishonesty, staging dishonesty, negligence. You have read. But have you wondered every time when you read money insurance? In your money insurance in your book, you know that it is covered, misfortune is covered, dishonesty is covered, staging dishonesty is covered. But can you find any word about negligence? There will not be any word called negligence in money insurance. But negligence word is there in other type of policy like your bankers blanket indemnity policy. But negligence word is not there in money insurance, even though it's one of the important three. Why? Because negligence has got different kind of definitions. So we do cover misfortune, we cover dishonesty, we cover staging dishonesty, we cover negligence, certain type of negligence, we never cover certain type of negligence. What we cover? We cover ordinary negligence. We never cover willful negligence. What is willful negligence? What is ordinary negligence? That we will read. Willful negligence means deliberately, intentional, carelessly acting. To make you to understand, I'll tell you a small story so that you can understand very easily what is misfortune, what is dishonesty, what is staging dishonesty, what is unintentional ordinary negligence, and what is willful negligence. See, I am an employer, I got an employee, I have taken a money insurance policy, I have covered for transit insurance. My per carrying limit I have already told you, 5 lakhs. You have given me a cover, you are an insurance company. My employee is taking the money so that to go and deposit into the bank. Okay, that happened to be a day where a bank is open, he is going. I have given 5 lakhs, he is going. On his way, he gets a call. When he sees the phone, mobile phone, he found out his girlfriend is talking in the mobile phone by video call. So immediately what he does, he was just talking very, he was immersed in talking to him, immersed in talking to her by looking at the phone, but handling the bag along with his chest, because it's a 5 lakhs amount. He cannot simply throw the bag. He's just keeping the bag along with the chest, and tightly he's holding and talking to the phone, but still he's not concentrating on the hold. He's concentrating on the girlfriend's face. Somebody has noted it, simply just snatched the bag and then they vanished. That is called misfortune. That's called misfortune. So he is holding, but it's not very tightful, but unexpectedly somebody has snatched. This is automatically covered under money insurance. Next, he is talking to the girlfriend. The girlfriend is asking, what are you doing? I am taking away 5 lakhs to bank. I'll deposit and I'll meet you tomorrow, he is telling. But the girlfriend says, no. You don't deposit in the bank. You please come with the money, entire money. We will go to some other country, we'll stay there. You don't go and deposit in the bank. You don't go to a job again. 5 lakhs is a big amount. We will settle down in some other country. You please come to my home. We will go to some other place. Then you will vanish. So this fellow left the scene. He went along with the wife, this girlfriend, and he vanished. It is called infidelity or dishonesty. So infidelity is covered, dishonesty is covered. Infidelity and dishonesty is covered in money insurance because this fellow cheated the employer. But infidelity and dishonesty covered when they will come to know, when the owner come to know that it has not been deposited in the bank, then only he will come to know. How do you come to know? He has to come back. The employer has to come back and tell, sir, I deposited this receipt. When he has not come back the very next day, when he has not produced the receipt, then there will be a doubt. So what is the policy says? The dishonesty or the infidelity, if it is happening within 48 hours, this is automatically covered. If it is more than 48 hours, it is the duty of the insured, the owner, to have an extra premium and add-on cover, because if he comes to know after 48 hours, this will not be automatically covered under normal money policy. To explain to you, this fellow has went on a Friday, he has not deposited the money, Saturday and Sunday is a holiday, the owner can expect him to come only on Monday, okay, because Saturday, Sunday holiday. But Monday happened to be Diwali day, a national holiday, so he is not expecting on Monday, he is only expecting on Tuesday. Tuesday more than 48 hours has happened, 72 hours has happened. Tuesday only he comes to know, this fellow, because of Diwali, this fellow has left with the, looted the money, he has not deposited in the bank, he has not turned back to the job. So at that time, if he comes and understand the dishonesty occurred, the infidelity occurred, that time is more than 48 hours. So he cannot lodge a money insurance claim, and if you have taken an add-on cover more than 48 hours, he can lodge a claim. So please understand, a dishonesty or infidelity is covered under money policy, but if it happens within 48 hours, if it is more than 48 hours, the owners are encouraged to take extra cover, more than 48 is covered, that is, he has to go with the add-on premium. What is staging dishonesty? The girlfriend is asking, what are you doing? He says, I'm having 5 lakh money. I'm going to deposit in the bank. Instead of telling, you come with the money, we'll go to other country, we leave India. What she says, you do one thing. You just make a drama, stage a drama. You just take about 2 lakhs minimum. You keep somewhere where people are not comfortable. You go and keep the money in a place 2 lakhs. Only you take 3 lakhs and go and deposit the 3 lakhs in the bank. And in between, you may just make yourself some scratches here and there, some bruises, and make a drama. Somebody attacked you, somebody assaulted you. In the process, the bag fell down and he has looted some money. Only balance of 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs you can pitch and take it back. The other 2 lakhs has lost. You make a drama, and finally the balance amount that lost, that will be taken by settled with the insurance company, because it's an assault, it's a misfortune. And the 2 lakhs what you have kept somewhere, that after some time you come and give to me, and we will take care of for our family, for future, she says. So this man is making a drama like what she said, and he is trying to say that only partial losses happen. This is called staging dishonesty. If it is actually really occurred, it is not a staging, it is really occurred, somebody snatched, only partly he could recover, that is payable. But later it is found out during investigation, yes, that has not occurred, nobody is assaulted, and that is not payable. So that is the clarity of staging dishonesty. Coming to negligence, this person after coming to know the girlfriend is talking to him. Today she is wearing a beautiful dress. She looks very beautiful. So he wants to spend more time with her. He doesn't want to go to bank immediately. That carrying amount, and it's not always comfortable for him. So he is going some other next place where he has kept the bag on a table or in a stool, where he gets inside a park. In the stool he kept next to him, and he is talking to the girlfriend, forgetting that he is not holding, he is kept aside next to him. But forgetting this, he is not taking care of the money, which is more risky. At that time, somebody has taken the money, and whether it's payable, knowingly it's a big amount, and it is not actually an ordinary negligence. Ordinary negligence means if he's speaking to phone, but he's holding firmly, but he's kept it there, and he doesn't want to keep the money. He doesn't want the money to show his girlfriend that he's having so much of money with him. So he has kept a little away, and he's talking very interestingly, seriously, and somebody has watched, somebody took away the money. That's a gross negligence that is not payable under our money policy. Now you are able to understand what is misfortune, what is dishonesty, what is staging dishonesty, what is negligence. So you know very well what all covered. Infidelity they have to go for. What are the extra covered? If they want RST and strike, terrorism, disbursement leak, holding risk. Suppose the money disbursement area, there is a cashier counter, and he is going on paying the money, and in the time somebody has come inside. They are showing a gun to the cashier. They say, you don't put the money into his bag. You put all the money into my bag. He is threatening with a gun. It's called holding risk. This is all add-on cover. Money in business counter. It's called hold-up risk. Disbursement risk. Assault can occur and somebody can snatch away from the cashier. All these things can be covered. So money in safe, it is kept inside the safe. That is what more important. And it is there also that 48 hours cover is important. More than 48 hours, after that they come and find out the safe is damaged, a burglary has occurred, and definitely they should have taken extended cover, and only it should be secured and it should be locked, and unless there is a breakage of lock and damage to the safe, the money in safe cannot be covered, but the premium rate is higher for cash in safe, that is 1%. Okay, you all know. So exclusion, general exclusion like money loss interest to other than the person. Unknown person they told him to carry, that fellow's watch vanished along with them, that is not payable. Infidelity more than 48 hours, I already explained to you. Overnight keeping in a locked safe, okay, unless in a locked safe, it must be in a locked safe. It's not in a strong room, it's not locked, that's not payable. Loss occasion RSMTD, I told you, RS terrorism is extra covered. Money carried by contract, that is not covered. That is in between the contractor. And exclusion applicable to burglary policy. Theft is not covered under money policy, it's a general exclusion. We are not giving any add-on cover also under money policy. We only give hold-up cover, and your other thing, misfortune or other things we give. Then the same thing, additional premium, what all you can cover additional premium. Occasional large carrying, I already told you, single carrying limit you can take. More than 40 years you can take. Money disbursement risk, somebody is assaulting, taking away all the money from the cashier or threatening the cashier to put the money in the bag. So till counter or disbursement risk, that is hold risk, that is can be covered on extra premium. R&T, and that is can be for extra premium, this already we discussed. So money policy is okay. So how do we go? Single carrying limit, total carrying annual amount, and locality is more important. How do they carry money? With a guarded, with a gun, or by a public transport, or by walk. Accordingly we will charge the premium, different rate. So premium rate is not a problem for you. You just think it is collected on per mille, here it is collected on person in case of cash on thing. So other things are same. So coming to all risk policy. So money policy is over. I explained to you the important covers in money policy and the difference between the cash in safe and as well as money in transit. All risk, it is a modified form of burglary policy. What is there? You recall your knowledge. Its subject matter is covered. Single carrying limit already we discussed. and that should be definitely not more than the 5% of the total sum insured. I mean, parent class, this is a new class in all risk, because some items are always kept in pair. For example, my wife having a stud, ear stud, something she has lost, some burglary has occurred. All this, the parent class is also applying in burglary. In all risk also it's applying burglary. I've taken jewelry cover under all risk policy. Somebody has attempted, broke open my lock during our absence, when we went to our in-laws family, broke open, they took away the jewelry. In the process, the thief, what he did, he took only one stud, the other stud he left. So when we came back, we found out that theft burglary has occurred. We lodged a claim with the police under section 445. We lodged a claim with the insurance company. We told the insurance company these are the items lost, but these are the items still there. For example, 1 year stud is there, 1 year stud has gone. So will the insurance company pay? Because with 1 year stud my wife cannot bear. Can it pay? Because it's useless, can it pay full amount of both the ear stud? No. The insurance company will restrict the liability only for the one set which is lost. The other set, whether they are going to use it, or they are going to exchange it, or they are going to make another set, that's all their problem. One set is not a loss, only one set is a loss. Only that particular part of the pair amount only will be settled by the insurance company. That is called pair and set class. So all this policy, what all important? All this policy, the subject matter is gold, silver ornament, cameras, watches, anything you can cover, valuables you can cover, but this covers only the total loss. For example, the entire item must have been lost under fire, under burglary, under theft, or something like that. It should not, it is beyond use, then only you will be able to pay. Suppose a cell phone fell down, insured under all this policy. Only a damage has occurred because IC has gone, it is not working. Then IC, if it is replaced, it will start to work because it's an electronic breakdown. So that is not payable under all risk, general all risk, because breakdown, electrical and electronic breakdown are excluded. So you must understand, all this insurance is a all risk policy, but specified and named exclusion. So what is important? You don't be carried away by the word all risk. Not all risk are covered. Risk are covered except specified exclusion. What are the specified exclusion? That you know. Another one in all risk, we never apply under insurance. Suppose I want to insure a big painting of my father, who was a Maharaja in those times, who was a Jamindar. I made a big painting. The painting cost about 2 lakhs. I want to insure with you. I ask for a all risk policy because the paint can damage in a fire. Somebody can take away because it's done by a very famous artist. So it can be lost. It can be lost by flood. It can be lost by fire. So I want a cover because the value, it's not the fixed value, is not according to the market value. The value is based on sentimental value, because the father is my father, he's not father for everyone. So I know the painting value, I want to insure for 2 lakhs. So when you agreed for 2 lakhs, if anything happens as per the agreed peril, you have to pay the entire 2 lakh. You cannot impose under insurance clause. That is why all this policy are called agreed value basis policy. You cannot apply under insurance. As I already told you, single limit is applied, parent set clause is applied, and even though we agreed for that amount, specified amount must be there, or otherwise, in the general amount is there, that single article limit must be not exceeding more than 5% of the total limit. You cannot include the paint value along with the other jewelry. If you want to insure paint for 2 lakhs, it's a specified value. But you want all jewelry under burglary policy, that total value should not exceed more than 1/3. Or otherwise, you can take an all risk policy. Okay, that is what you have to know. So single article limit. Okay, so that is the difference. So normal cracking, scratching, breaking, unless caused by accident of the carrying vehicle. The vehicle got damaged. In the process, there is a breakage of items that will be paid. But if the handling, somebody is careless, some cracking has occurred, some scratches has occurred, that is all not payable under normal depreciation, wear and tear, and infection, the insects bite, vermin, both, all these things not be covered. And the electrical short circuit, electronic machine, Theft from unattended vehicle. Knowingly that laptop or camera will be taken if I have not closed my door. I just kept my door open. Somebody simply opening the door, taking away, there is no visible entry. So that is not called under all risk policy, even though I covered under all risk policy. So that is what you have to know about all risk. Exclusion is almost common, like wear and tear and everything. So that is very common. Underwriting strict. We can't give to all risk to everyone, because all risk policy is basically a policy given to people who has got a good moral hazard. And normally is given within India. If you want, you can give geographical extension, and it's based on past claim history, moral hazard, and proper care must be taken. You cannot give to everyone. For example, trade or processor, proposal from dealers, money lenders, pawnbrokers may attract special conditions, higher rate of premium. Therefore, prior approval is required. So these people, these things are always happening changes. So you don't know exact value of the item what you are intending to insure. So a proper condition should be applied. So these are the general underwriting condition. Basically, the most important underwriting condition, it is an agreed value policy. You cannot normally apply under insurance that if it is a specified insurance for a specified subject matter. Okay, then proportion should be accepted only from a reputed client, because moral hazard is more important. That's more important for you. So we'll go to a traveler's insurance baggage. Traveler's insurance baggage is nothing but the person who travels from one place to another place. It occurs within the country. We normally never go for abroad, but depends upon the policy. If you want to insure, some other policy also takes care, like OMP policy also takes care of your belongings. That is different. But normally, travelers and baggage policy, what is the subject matter? What all it covers? How it covers? What are its exclusion? That is what you have to recall. You have to refresh your knowledge. So when you refresh your knowledge, what do you know? Subject matter is items that is carried during journey. Whose item? You recall by relaxing? Yes, the insured item. When I start a journey from A spot to B, going to B spot, if anything occurred to the item that is being carried along with me, accompanied luggage. Please understand, it is not cargo. Which is accompanied with me, that item which is insured. If anything happens, if it is lost, like in all this policy, somebody is snatched, some burglary has occurred, misfortune, all this is covered under during the course of the journey. Once I've gone to the place where I intended to go, once I reached, after that anything occurs, the policy will not act. So it is journey 1 point to another point 1. Normally, the subject matter must be belonging to the insured, and he must have given a declared value, a declaration before starting the journey. The value of the item, he must give the full value, invoice value or new value. The real value he has to give. He cannot give the old value. And if he on the way he is staying in a hotel, then again he is taking away his property. That temporary stay at hotel, that can be also covered under traveler's baggage. That doesn't mean that he has kept in his room. That cover is also there automatically, because he is also staying in the room. So temporary stay at hotel. What are not covered? No traveler's sample, no dealer stock. This is excluded. This is common question for juniors. So traveler's sample and dealer stock are not covered. But temporary stay along with the stock insured, declared, that is allowed. But the value must be inventory value or new value. Okay. So what you have to know? It must be an accompanied baggage. The item must be belonging to the insured, because he has got insured interest. But sometimes he may also allow to insure the relatives' items also. Suppose I am going to a marriage from A place to B place. My sister is also coming with me. My sister says, you please keep my jewelry also along with your bag. So while taking the policy, when I give a declaration, I have to declare this is the amount belonging to my item. This is the amount belonging to my sister, which is also carried along with the same accompanied baggage. If I declare, even though it is not my property, it's my sister's property, that property belonging to any relative, that can be also insured under traveler's insurance. That you have to understand. Stay at hotel. Declaration must be given before. It is almost like a all risk policy only. Total loss only is covered. Mechanical breakdown, machinery, nothing is covered. Routine travel, it is specific travel only, specific policy. Leakage, he is carrying something and he is leaked. Evaporation, no. And umbrella and consumable. Umbrella is a common question in juniors. Umbrella you tend to leave umbrella wherever you go. So umbrella is a specified exclusion under baggage policy. Consumables, you have taken something, somebody has half of the got damaged, perished. You bought some apple and on the way the apple got rotten. You cannot make a claim. So consumable, eatable, that is all not covered under GIEAIA. Items like camera and some items like jewelry, watches and your dress material is all you can declare, you can take. So article added during the course of the journey. You have declared already what you are going to carry. On the way you buy something and put into the bag. That is not being declared, so that is not covered under our policy. Suppose a question comes for the seniors. This policy has been taken by an insured and for this amount. And on the way you purchase this. This is also put into the bag. The bag was snatched on the way. And the total value including the item that is purchased is this. Then the total amount of claim this. How much insurance company will settle? They may give you a mathematical calculation claim. So you have to find out what is the value of the added item. What is the value of the item that is carried declared before. So at the time of claim, the entire loss has happened, but he has to deduct the loss which is added in between. So that is how you have to go for a little complex claim if it is asked for the seniors. Okay, so you have to be very clear which places they are going. If they are going a place where the theft can be more, so the moral hazard is more. So duration, more. If they are going in a public transport, if they are going in a secured vehicle, so our risk is less. So travel distance, all we will consider before our underwriting. So that is traveler's baggage policy. Jeweller's block insurance. What is jeweller's block? You just recall what all you know. What is the subject is covered? It is covered for those who are selling jewel. Not all those who are selling jewel, or not all those who are involved with selling of jewel, or not all those who are keeping the jewels. So what is covered? Whether it is jewel is exhibited in the exhibition is covered, or showroom is covered, what are the sections are there, how do we rate the risk, how to make a claim, this all you have to recall before you get to the subject. So what is there? It is only given to diamantaries, those who sell, like a large people, like your people who are selling diamond and jewels, big sellers, okay, like that people's showrooms only can sell, only retail sellers they can give, okay. Joy Alucas. Joy Alucas is a retail seller. He is a diamond seller. So they can take this jeweller's block. So wholesale marketing, retail, but not for individual goldsmith or pawnbroker. Is a common question for juniors. Goldsmith also involved with the gold. He tend to lose. Or a pawnbroker, he can pledge the person can pledge the jewel and he can take the money. But if it is lost, but pawnbroker cannot insure under jeweller's block. But pawnbroker comes under a different kind of category. But if you want to issue a jeweller's block, you can issue the block policy only to those retailer and wholesaler like Joy Alucas and other thing, or diamantaries where the marketing is involved. So there are 4 sections are there. Section 1 is a basic section. It's a compulsory. It takes care of fire, theft and RSMD. Section 2 is held in risk and their own people. For example, the broker, you can give to the broker for repair, you can give to the broker for redesigning, or you can give the broker for polishing, or you can take his materials which he is selling to an exhibition. So transit is required, whether within India or abroad. All these things taken care in the section 2. And suppose he is sending the material by air, whether transit by air is covered. And apart from the shop where he has kept some furniture, picture, fitting, some glass bureaus, glass shelf where he is exhibiting within his premises, this all taken care under F, that is furniture, fitting, pictures under section 4. So here the value of the item, not like regular burglary policy where the value is declared without profit. Here you can give cost plus 10% extra because these items values will be going up and down. So for a safer sake, we normally go 10% extra valuation should be added. So we always add every year cost of the value 10% extra. The valuation is based on 10% extra. So you came to know all about these things. So we will go about the sections 4 first. Under section 4 is a premises risk, section 1. Custody risk, section 2. Section 3 is a transit risk. Section 4 is a structures, that's within the premises risk. Section 1, stock in trade, all is covered. All the stock that is kept in the premises and trade. What for? Fire, explosion, burglary, riot and strike. Custody, he could have given this for repair or regeneration, or he could have given for polishing. So stock in trade in the custody of director, partner, employer, person not in regular employment or given for a polisher or given a broker, or he could have taken for exhibition. So all risk basis while carried out, conveyed outside is based on the all risk basis. That means the total loss must be covered. It must be an assault. It must be a burglary. It must be an assault. Then only it will be covered. Exhibition. Normally exhibition within the country, it comes under custody risk, stock display, to and fro within the country is automatically covered, provided he declares and get an endorsement with the insurer. But exhibition outside the country, this is not covered under our regular jewelers black policy. It should be under a separate policy like a contingency policy. So for automatic cover with a proper endorsement required if the exhibition done within the country, including transit to and fro. That you must remember for your exam. Coming to transit risk, already we know how it will be the transport will happen, postal, air freight, Angadia like a courier. So all risk basis, total loss or outcome is taken care of the section. So structures, building inside, fire, explosion, damage to the property during heavy hold up or burglary, visible damage, riot and strike is all covered under. So what you must know here, the most important thing, when you lodge a claim, this is more and more important. When you insure, the value must be 10% extra. When you lodge a claim, you must discover, because you must discover. You cannot simply, every day you should feel the items what kept inside the premises is safe. Anybody has taken, any loss has occurred. Every day you should keep on monitoring. But you missed to monitor. But you should not take your own time to find out whether this kind of loss has occurred to make a claim. So there is a limit you should discover within 60 days of happening. So you know probably which day it would have occurred, because you discovered only after 20 days. Because every day when you compare, you felt that which was available earlier, now it is not available now. So this particular day it has lost. So the total stock value, this particular it is stock. But you cannot ignore. It's better to find out as early as possible. Even if you missed it because of busy hours, it should be found out within 14 days, within 60 days of happening. Within 60 days. Once you found out within 60 days, immediate notification should be given to the insurer. Once you give an immediate notification, you submit all the supportive document within 14 days to the insurer. This is what important. So there is no retroactive period. You cannot make a claim what occurred previous year. It must have occurred during the current year only, but you can discover within 60 days. That is the difference between retroactive period. Retroactive period, even previous year you can tell later. But here within the course of the policy period, but not, it should be discovered not more than 60 days. So what are not covered? Damage that caused while working. And you are, instead of keeping carefully that person who is the owner of the showroom, who has taken a policy, he has not kept safely, but he is wearing because he loves the jewelry. He started wearing by himself. In the process he has lost, but he has not taken a personal action. He has, all risk policy for himself, but he has taken only all risk policy for the shop, but that cannot be covered. Wearing, dishonesty, unattended, window display at night after business hours. Window display at night after business hours, exclusive policy is required. It cannot be covered under normal policy. It can be covered as a special contingency policy, or some companies go with the add-on premium. So normal window display, how many hours they are going to be there, whether safeguard has been taken, watchman is there, camera is there, or burglary safety are taken, all this based on that, the policy can be covered. But normal policy is an exclusion. Please understand. Okay. So, jewelers policy over. We have covered the important points I have already discussed. Here you see, sum insured. Stock under custody in excess of 2 lakhs should be secured in locked safe after business hours. Section 2 says this 2 lakhs is very, very less today. This amount has been told long before, about 20 years before, 30 years before. So it may not be applicable today. So this is there in your book. but question may not come because 2 lakhs is nothing today. So it's just because in the book I have given, but you don't break your head to memorizing all these things. But most important, when it must be discovered, when the claim should be lodged, what all it's covered, what are not covered, whether transit is covered, whether exhibition is covered, whether night display is covered. That is what more important for examination point of view. Don't waste your time. How much of lakhs, 2 lakhs, and how much of sum insured should not exceed 25% of. This may be applicable because sum insured not specified. First is section 1. But section 2 maybe have a subclass that should not exceed 25, like 1/3 of the class what we apply in case of normal burglary policy. This may apply. And valuation, extra 10% that may be applied. Parent credit class, still it may be applied. So all other things are reinstatement of facilities available under one class. So reinstatement of sum insured like a burglary policy, it is available under section 1. So this all you have to know the special condition under list of sum insured. So important exclusion, inventory loss, not occurred as an insured peril. Article used by insured or by employees, not by third party. Public exhibition where he has not given endorsement. Theft from unattended vehicle where it has not properly taken care. Influence of the employee in the trade. Loss occurred outside the specific location. Theft by authorized key. The key clause also applies here. Window display after business hour unless otherwise specifically covered. Any act of God peril. See, please understand. Act of God peril is not covered under Jeweller's block standard cover. Okay. Then classification by local authority. This man is selling burgled jewelry. This man is selling jewelry that is stolen from some other place. Then police found out this is available in this particular shop. So they have come, they have took away the property of this particular person. And the particular person makes a claim innocently, he doesn't know that it is a stolen article. No, once it's a confiscation occurred by local authority, that is all not covered under jewelry block policy. So the premium can be reduced if the security is tightened. That's called watch and ward facility. What is watch? 24 hours watchman is there, our risk is less, so premium can be discounted. A TV is there, closed circuit TV is there, build alarm is there, strong room is there, and moral hazard is good for the client. No, nothing has occurred in the past 10 years or more. So we can reduce the premium. We are not going to talk about the rate of premium because rate of premium is not constant. It differs to different company based on the risk what we are underwriting. You have to more concentrate on the based on the risk only. Okay. Now we go to the banker's indemnity insurance. Banker's indemnity, it came, 1 or 2 questions came, but very simple questions only came. Because banker's indemnity is no more common for all companies. So when you think of banker's indemnity, some speciality of banker's indemnity you must know. What is the speciality? There is some interesting exclusions are there. There is some interesting inclusions are there. It is not there in any other policy. For example, retroactive period. A claim that is occurred the second year, but the claim has occurred in the first year, but it is discovered in the second year. But second year policy is running. Whether it is payable, yes, it is payable, even though it is not occurred during this course of insurance. It has occurred the earlier policy, but it is containing the same insurance company. That is called retroactive period. Whether it is there in all burglary policy, no. That is why I told in case of jewelry policy, it is based on 60 discovery only. It is not retroactive. Okay, so that is a specialty. And some sections are very interesting. Normally more number of bank, more number of items are there, we will give group discount. For example, more number of people are covered under PA policy. More number of people are covered in health insurance policy, we give a better discount. But in banker's indemnity, more number of branches are covered, our risk is also more because the localities are multiple. So when more number of branches are covered, we will reduce the discount, we will not increase the discount. That is a specialty. Then infidelity, I already told you, negligence, whether it is excluded, negligence, whether unintentional, whether it's intentional. We segregate in money policy, but in banker's indemnity, how do we do? Negligence, whether it's infidelity, whether we do. This all you have to see when you read banker's indemnity. So it is no tariff, there is no market agreement between the 4 company. The money we give the definition. I already told you, money means securities, that is like jewelry, banknotes, postage stamps, and revenue stamps, okay, postal order, everything comes under the definition. And misfortune, negligence, dishonesty, it applies. Where it applies, where it is not applies, we will see. Employee means those who are in salaried role, not all employee. All existing permanent or temporary employees, including apprentices, on salary role. If they commit a mistake, only we will pay. That is insured peril. If it is done by director, if it is done by partner, if it is done by non-salary employees, this is not comes under bankers. If it is done by a director, it comes under some other policy called directors officers illegal liability. That comes under liability policy. That is not comes under bankers liability. So we define employee means employees, those who are in salary role except director, partner, non-salaried. But apprentice, yes, they are also temporary employees, so they can be, they are also in salary role, so they can be applied under names of employee. So negligence, you see, negligence of employee excluded within the premises. It is not partially covered, it is not fully covered. For example, unintentional, no, negligence is totally excluded under premises. But negligence not in transit. Somewhere it is occurred in transit, like what happened in money transit. If it is not intentional, it is not unlawful, and it is unfortunate, misfortune, that is covered. So negligence not covered if it is done by workers within the office hours, within the premises. Totally not covered. But negligence covered when during transit. That's what you have to learn. Dishonesty. There in money policy, up to 48 hours is automatic. More than 48 hours add-on cover. Here dishonesty is optional cover in bankers indemnity policy. There are different sections, A to H section, and here it must be discovered and a retroactive period is applied. The sections we will see later. In the section how the premium is based on basic sum insured, additional sum insured, how the additional sum insured is operated, how the claims is settled, all this we will see next slide. But when a claim comes, it is within 6 months of the expiry of the cancellation. Suppose the policy I have taken from New India. I found out this is occurred. But the policy I have not renewed with the New India, I have renewed with some other company, but I have found out only after the expiry of the policy with the New India. But the claim belonging to New India because it is occurred during retroactive period. So how long I can make the claim telling the retroactive period, even though it is not continuously covered, it is only covered earlier company continuously, but I have changed the company to new company. So even if you change a new company, it occurred after the expiry of 6 months, wherein you have taken with another company. So the 6 months guarantee is allowed in case of bankers indemnity if there is no continuation of policy. If the continuation of policy retroactive period is there, how long it is there? Within 2 years it is there. So within 2 years, the previous year, if it has occurred also, during the current year you can report, you can make a claim even though it is not occurred in the current year. So that is there for the continuation of policy with the same insurer. So retroactive period will not be applicable in case of expiry or cancellation. The new insurer can consider the claim if it is discovered within 6 months of the expiry or cancellation. After 6 months, if he comes to the new insurer and says, "Sir, it is not, it's occurred during that period when I had a claim with another company," if it is not within 6 months, the new company can deny the claim. That is what you have to know. Coming to the section A, section B, section C, section D, section E, section F, section G, section H. These are the sections. So you just know what all it covers. Section A is a premises risk, normal risk. Section transit, B is a transit risk, where the negligence is covered in transit, but negligence is not covered under section A cover. Okay, premises cover is not there. Section C, forgery. It can occur, pecuniary loss. It's coming under pecuniary loss. So reason for payment of credit, fictitious raised check and traveler check, forged, some forgery has occurred through a counter or clearing house. So this alteration, all this comes under section C. Section D, dishonesty. Dishonesty, criminal act of employees, whether single or with their involvement, it is there. That is there a provision, but it can be covered as an add-on premium. Section CE, hypothetical goods, criminal acts of employees, whether singly or in joining with other employees. So hypothetical goods. So section F, register parcel during transit. So indemnity is registered to 10% of the basic sum assured is 1 lakh, whichever is less. This may not be applicable now because today value has changed. But you must understand, section F is connected to insured post parcels. It's covered, taking care of registered post parcel. Section D takes care of appraisers. This is infinity of the appraisers. And section H takes care of Janata agents, pygmy collectors. It's infinity of them. So if you know there are A to G section, which section covers what? If you know that, that is enough. Don't read more because it will confuse you, and that is not expected because this section peril covered and the loss covered are changed now. It may not be the same with all 4 companies. So please understand section A to F what it covers and how do we apply the premium. That's more important. You see here section A, that's money and securities. Okay, here I told you section A to E, it covers all these things. But sum insured, how do we go? Sum insured will go with the section A because any one limit is based on the sum insured. Suppose A we cover and all other cover we have told us an optional cover. But sometimes the optional cover may exceed the basic cover. So if they want to increase the basic cover, he has to pay more premium because section 1 premium is more. A cover premium is more. Sometimes the cover may exceed more than the A cover into the optional section. So to take care of the optional section, if I force my client to add all the losses into A, the premium will be much more. So what we do, we say you take a basic cover. If you want to have increased sum insured because you are liable to give loss based on the optional cover, we will give you additional sum insured under section and under section 2. So you can have apart from the basic sum insured, you can have additional sum insured under section 1 and section 2. But you need not pay the same premium what you are expected to pay under first section. But you can pay only for additional sum insured, not the full sum insured under section and D. So for that to lower premium. So this is a speciality of the bankers insurance class. There is an additional sum insured is also there apart from the basic sum insured for section 1 and 2 at the cost of lower premium because to help the customer not to pay unnecessary premium because the chance of loss occurrence will be less in the optional cover. So we go for an additional premium. For examination point of view, what you have to know, additional premium is applicable apart from basic premium. Additional premium is applicable only because the other section may exceed the main basic premium. Instead of asking him to increase the basic premium, we help the customer to have an additional premium for section 1 and 2 by a lower premium. If at all it exceeds the basic premium, then it will act, the additional premium will act. So for that we have given a provision on additional premium. So additional premium, how do we go? Automatic claim has occurred. So when a claim has occurred, you must know the amount can be reinstated. How many times it can be reinstated? Maximum you can reinstate only 2 times of the liability. Total sum insured you can. So there is a automatic reinstatement on claims, but the sum insured can be increased only 2 times, not more than that automatically. That is also another class that you must know. Okay, so here what all covered? Trading loss not covered. Computer manipulation, even though the criminal intent of everything is covered for employees under section 1, you see here I already told you, misfortune, all these things, under bankers. So these people, forgery, alterations, okay, he has taken fire, riot, A is covered, B, transit, C, you see, forgery, check, but it's not by computer manipulation. If it is done by a computer manipulation, by the employees, it is not covered under bankers' indemnity. So cyber crime cannot be covered under regular bankers' indemnity policy. Okay, then repeat losses of the same person. You know that the owner knows that, the bank owner knows that the same person committing, how many times insurance company? So he must be terminated. So the repeated loss also cannot be covered. Excess, forget it. Excess now changed and it's not common for all companies. But for the sake of the book, if you want to know, A to E, the excess is 25%. Each and every claim. 2% the basic sum assured or 50,000 whichever is less, and for all other section 25% each. Excess cannot be waived. This is there in the book. If you want, you can remember. Otherwise, normally excess clauses can be changed according to the need of the customer. I already told you, number of branches is more, the premium will be more. The premium cannot be less. So the other specialty, the retroactive period, I already explained to you, so I will not go there. So coming to the next, see, fidelity guarantee policy. Fidelity guarantee, we have to read. Then after fidelity guarantee, we have to rush some other policies like other miscellaneous policy and other miscellaneous insurance. Then we have a rural insurance and we have government insurance. We have to read. So naturally, this cannot be covered before lunch. So what I do, I will cover a fidelity guarantee before lunch. After lunch, we'll complete the balance part of the miscellaneous, and before today break, I will complete the other part of liability. So fidelity guarantee, you all know. What is fidelity guarantee? You recall fidelity guarantee. In normal policy, only two people are involved, the insured and insured. But in a fidelity guarantee, there are three people are involved. Because in a commercial guarantee policy, fidelity guarantee policy, insurer is involved, insured is involved. Insured means insured person, and also the person wants to insure the other person who is involved with his money. That's insured person. So insurer, insured, and insured person. Who is the insurer? The insurance company. Who is the insured? The person who is taking the policy, the owner of the commercial transaction. Who is the insured person? The person who is insuring the cashier. The cashier is an insured person. So there are three people are involved. So normal policy, only two persons, the insured and insured only. But in fidelity guarantee, three persons are involved. Because why we take the insured person? The insured person, you may also ask me, sir, in this health insurance policy, we cover a group, where a group, the insured is an insurance company. The insured is the owner of the group. The insured person is the employee of the group. But there are also three persons are covered. Then what is why it's different from a fidelity guarantee, my dear friends? Fidelity guarantee also three persons are covered. But here the insured person who is a cashier, for example, to understand, if he is holding something to the owner, if he is holding some security deposit to the owner at the time of loss, we take care of that also under our liability. But it is not relevant to health insurance policy. That is why here all the three are involved in the case of underwriting and in the case of claims also. That is why this is different from all other insurance. Here three parties are involved. And all other insurance are working on law of insurance. Here this particular policy working on two laws of insurance. One is law of insurance and law of suretyship. So that is also different from other insurance. It is basically trust on trust. I trust my cashier, I trust my employee who is taking my money, who is involved with money, but he has cheated. So it is basically fiduciary relationship. How he is cheating? He can take an advantage because my owner is very much believing me. I can do anything, he will not find out. So by obtaining an advantage of unfair, wrongful means, a person who is my employee, he may be a cashier, he may be a person involved with money, or he may be a trusted employee who is in the book, who is handling my, taking a money and going, giving to some other bank or some other thing. Anything if it's done on break of trust, fiduciary relationship, and infidelity occurs, that kind of things are covered. That is a subject matter. Here there is no under insurance. Please understand, whatever I have taken policy for my cashier, I told insurance company I want 2 lakhs cover for my cashier. Tomorrow, the cashier has cheated. Whether the insurance company will settle, the insurance company will first think what is the amount the cashier has involved. Suppose the cashier is involved with only 1.5 lakhs. So the amount what he has taken is only 2 lakhs. So well within the sum insured, the insurance company, if it is an eligible claim, if everything is perfect, the insurance company will settle 1.5 lakh as against 2 lakhs sum insured for the cashier. Suppose imagine the cashier has taken 3 lakhs and the insurance is taken only for 2 lakhs. Whether the insurance company will settle under insurance? No. Under insurance cannot be settled applied under FG policy, but instead we can apply deductibles. What is the difference between deductibles? Under insurance means the difference of sum insured. We will not go into that, but there is a difference. What is the difference? He has taken 2 lakhs policy, but the loss is 3 lakhs. So we cannot settle 3 lakhs, but we cannot settle more and charging the extra premium, or we cannot penalize by telling that you are not taken for 1 lakhs. It's because under insurance clause will not apply. So how do we go proceed? We apply deductibles. What we apply? As I told you, 3%. We have got the right to recover the amount that is paid by the insured person as a security deposit to the customer. So we will check up, sir, your policy is for 2 lakhs. You are taken only 3 lakhs. You are taken for 2 lakhs. Your loss is 3 lakhs. Now we have to proceed. We cannot settle 3 lakhs. Okay? And under insurance also we cannot apply. But we want to give you as much as possible, at least to the extent of sum insured. What is the amount you are holding from the insured person who is the culprit? So the owner, the insured says, sir, I am holding 1.5 lakhs security deposit. Just imagine, be with me, then you can understand the logic begin. So the insurance company has got the right to recover the 1.5 lakhs while settling the claim. So what is the claim amount? 3 lakhs. Okay. So what is sum insured is only 2 lakhs. So insurance company can settle only 2 lakhs, not more than that. Whether the entire 2 lakhs is to be settled, whether any benefit is going to get, any benefit is available for the owner from the fraudulent person, the frauders, yes, the owner can get 1.5 lakhs. So what is the ultimate loss as per the sum insured? The ultimate loss is only 2 lakhs as per the sum insured. So insurance company can settle only the amount what is his loss. Okay. See, for example, the owner has the loss is more than the sum insured. See, for example, what is the loss is more than sum insured? See, for example, the loss is 3 lakhs. The subject matter is only 2 lakhs. So here, how do they proceed? They can proceed. The total loss is actually 2 lakhs sum insured, 3 lakhs as sum insurance. So how do they settle? This is what you are going to see, the claim settlement. Here, how do we settle the claim? I am going to give you a small calculation in the forthcoming classes. So here what you should understand, when a claim comes under fidelity guarantee policy, under insurance cannot be applied. That is clear. And insurance company has got the right to account any other amount that is the insured is eligible to collect from the customer, and based on that the original liability will be determined. What is the original liability? Whether they can settle the entire 2 lakhs, whether they can settle the entire 3 lakhs, whether they can deduct the amount what is the otherwise recovered, the balance can be settled. So this is what you have to learn. That I will explain to you with a small problem in the next forthcoming questions and answer session. With this I will complete here. We will proceed because it will take a little more time. I will complete. So here what you have to complete with the fidelity guarantee policy. In here no negligence or lack of care is covered. Default employee is again found out, the claim has been settled, but for the sake of sentiment, the owner is again given employment for the person. We cannot settle any claim for the person in future because he's invited the trouble. And the claim must be discovered within 12 months of the expiry of the policy or the discovery of the policy within 12 months. So that is the 12 months clause is there. Two factors, either after expiry of the policy within 2 months or either 12 months within the discovery of the policy. Hazardous people cannot be covered. Then it is contract of indemnity. That means the original loss of the customer only will be paid, not any excessive loss. How do we apply the contract of indemnity? I will explain after the lunch break. So now it will take little time. So I will take little time. So I will explain to you. So with this, infidelity FG policy is over. What is covered? Pecuniary loss, the loss incurred by the owner while discharging specified duties. Money or goods is taken care under FG guarantee. You don't think only money is taken care in FG policy. Goods also, if it is done by employees, that is also taken. Once a claim is settled, the policy ceases. The policy cannot be continuing. He has taken new policy. That is also in scope. So what are the types of policy available? Individual policy is there, collective policy is there, floating policy is there, possession policy is there, blanket policy is there. Individual policy, for an individual, he is taking only for cashier, for his individual amount, individual policy. He is taking for multiple people, he can take. But what will happen? Individually he has to tell what are the amount involved by individual people. Cashier, other than cashier, who are the other people involved with money, what is his name, what is his amount he is involved. So individual money sum should be given in a collective policy. Floating policy, only one sum insured is given, whether it's a cashier or any other employee. Any loss has occurred, the same amount will be applied to any employee as declared by the floating policy. Possession policy, we will not give the name because today A may be a cashier. Tomorrow he may leave, he may join another company. A B may join as a cashier. So we can't give the name. So we will want only according to the possession. Sir, I want policy only for cashier. So he can take possession policy. So it is another policy, what is called blanket policy. Blanket policy means the person who is taking a FG policy is not only owner of this particular commercial activity, he may be having multiple business. For example, he may be a soap factory, he may be a milk factory, many. So he doesn't want to have separate policy. FG policy all comes under his umbrella. So for example, it's multiple factories, you want one single policy. So it's a blanket policy. It can be given to all his employees, those who are involved with different business, but belonging to the same owner. This is called blanket policy, but we normally never give blanket policy to everyone because blanket policy requires very important moral hazard. This owner should be a very good person. Based on his past claim only, blanket policy can be given. So exclusion arising out of India, no, only within India, and employees must be the same employees. We cannot give some other unidentified person. Repeat loss of same person cannot be given. Proper internal check must be there. Any deviation from the internal check cannot be considered. So this is all important. Financial status is more important. Internal check is more important. And with this, I will complete. So we have completed a commercial fidelity guarantee policy. Only thing I have to explain how we will settle the claim at times of loss by taking into account the portion of the amount held by the customer as a security deposit. What would be our actual amount? I'll explain after the lunch so that you will be fresh. I'll be also absolutely energy. I'll tell you. And what all we learn is a commercial guarantee policy. What we have to learn to complete FG policy, there are modified form of commercial policy. They are called court bond and government bond. What are court bond? What are government bond? How do we cover? What is the difference between the commercial and this modified policy that we will look into after lunch. So shall we break now? We will break for lunch. Now the time is 1:40. You just take half an hour. After half an hour, we will come back. We will continue the miscellaneous insurance policy. Is it okay? Shall we disperse now for lunch?
Yeah, okay, sir.
Okay, thank you.